Welcome, folks, to Wednesday Night Modern here at Nerd Rage Gaming. We're in lovely Buffalo Grove, Illinois tonight with Haviva Goodman and Dominic Stryker, and we are excited to get down to business here. We got two heavy hitters in the building, May and Michael. I almost called him Ryan, excuse me. Getting ready to play the wonderful format known as Modern. We've got 4 rounds of coverage for you tonight, and we'll get us started in just a second here. May is playing Merfolk as usual. Michael's playing some Prowess. Dom, how you doing tonight? Welcome, welcome.
I am doing very well. I told you in secret right before this round began that I had a dark moment over the weekend where I reached out to our own Merfolk master, May, right here on the left side, and asked for the Merfolk 75 so I could start buying these cards because MH3 is looming and my girl Flood Moon is on the way.
Absolutely, yeah. We saw basically a strict copy of Magus of the Moon get spoiled for MH3. It is a blue Merfolk 3-drop 2/2. Non-basics are islands. Non-basic lands are islands. So very excited to see that. I don't think that's a dark thing to have happen to you. I think Merfolk is a very bright.
Time comes for us all.
Is good. You should welcome the change. That 75 will get some changes. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's about to slap in some bangers and swap out some weird utility lands. But
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited for the next team event. We gotta get a triple Merfolk seat team going
Ooh.
at the NRG. That would be so sick.
We have a little bit of fireworks happening. May started off with a Merfolk Trickster just to get some aggression down. And Michael here using old classic Lightning Bolt to remove that pressure. I know we've got Mike written down here
Cool.
as Prowess, but it looks like we might be trying to play a little bit more of a long game here with this deck.
I was about to say, Lorien revealed he is cycling for an island is a very curious spell in a Prowess deck. That spell cost 5. I know generally
Right.
you just pay 1 for it.
This is my boy Mike. I know sometimes he's playing like 5-color blue cards, Murktide goodness. This might be one of those days. I know he was playing Jeskai Prowess last week. Maybe he's swapping it up on us, looking to play a longer game.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll see what he goes for here. We'll shock in a breeding pool, bringing him down to 15 off an attack. Or no, I think just from his own lands proper.
Yeah.
No combat yet from May. At his end step, she'll flush in that Vodalian Hexcatcher.
Yeah, Mike doing this damage to himself with the fetch shock to play the bolt, and now the shock here for this breeding pool. Clearly wants something to interact here. As we see, looks like a leyline binding after this Hexcatcher resolves. So yeah, I think this might be... It's definitely not a Gruul aggro from Mike. I can tell you that much.
No, I think I agree with that assessment as well. May's turn, she'll play a Sphaloon and
Of
pass.
sea and sky. The
Very,
Merfolk god.
very, very good card there. Much harder to bolt, although it still can go under a leyline binding or get prismatic ending. So Michael will take care of that there. Back on May's turn now. Just playing a single threat at a time here. She's going to pass back with...
Stone Rain.
Ooh.
Stone Rain alert. Wee you. This is Shauna's Tiebinder coming down, snatching the activation of Polluted Delta. Oh, it feels so good every time. If you're doing it. If it's being done to you, I'm so sorry.
Absolutely, yeah. Passed with all of her mana open and then used it immediately to, in effect, remove one of Michael's lands.
We were also used to playing around Tidebinder when it was a part of the Rhinos decks. And then Rhinos kind of faded away, and Tidebinder is maybe like a one-of in Murktide. But Merfolk is the one place where you're still getting stifled all the time.
Absolutely. Speaking of Stifle, there was a card spoiled for MH3. Should we talk? It is a spoiler, right? These are official cards.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Everything's fully spoiled, so then we can
You're
talk
talking
about it.
the card to 1-for-1 in Eldrazi.
Correct, yes. Counter target triggered ability or colorless spell.
With Replicate 1, and you would say, why would I want the Replicate? It's so you can take the creature and the cast trigger, which we have not had the option before.
Yes, absolutely. I think that card, maybe we'll even see play in a Merfolk deck.
It's like a slam dunk, like 2-3 of them on the board. If you're tired of dying to Ulamog, I promise it'll help you out.
Tired of getting a chalice? That works too. Counters a chalice pretty well.
Counters a ring. Like there will still be targets, even though your main goal is to fight back. Because there's so many of these good cards in the upcoming set that there's a non-zero chance we're going to get kind of big green. Like all these Eldrazi cards look like really supplement themselves with having like a green base ramp into fatties. Which is like the purest magic, right? Just like ramp, play your big thing that we've kind of been missing for a little while.
Yeah, well said. I know we always have a Tron player in the building, but we don't see... I mean, I feel like we almost see blue Tron more often than stereotypical green Tron with big fatties. Maybe we'll see a little resurgence of that with all these big colorless creatures coming into play in MH3. See a Merfolk Trickster here.
Okay, with a little guy on it.
It's got a little fishy drawn on it.
Let's talk about the little guy drawing.
Yeah, so Merfolk Trickster is just a flash 2/2 sometimes, so maybe we'll flash that out at Michael's end step there. Going to her turn, she's got 5 lands and a Mutavault at this point, so she could activate that, leave mana up for interaction. Just 1 or 2 blue sources technically for counterspell stuff. With the 2 Caverns and the Mutavault there can make stuff tricky. We'll cast a Svalun here in the first main.
I think this matchup's going to be really fun to watch because this is kind of more of your classic Magic of like a blue-based tempo style strategy versus like one trying to be more hard controlling.
For sure.
Where May's kind of going to be like always on the aggressive, try to double spell, try to like apply threat and fight back. And Mike's job is just to be try to fight and fight.
Indeed.
Tidebinders of their own. Uh-oh.
Looks like it's just in blocking duty here. We'll take down the opposing Tidebinder. Take 2 from the Trickster down to 8 now to May's full 20.
But I think this is okay for Mike because a part of your strategy is really remove these Merfolk. Like just get them off the board. I always talk about trying to recontextualize like what your card does. And this point, Tishana's Tidebinder just was a Doomblade, right? It's like flash it out, block, kill the thing, trade for it. Just take your 1-for-1 where you can get it because that's the only way you're going to stay in this game.
We saw the same from May. She used the Merfolk Trickster
as a 2/2 flash, just attack.
I was going to say with a blank text box, but she did utilize the flash there, yeah. Merfolk, very good at having utility. They can do a bunch of different things like you saw Michael do there as well.
And May really understands playing this deck, just as we know, May is one of our resident Merfolk masters. I always call it a protect the queen strategy. This is what Delver is really built around. Of like put a threat in play, attack, protect until that one card like you ride that to victory. Sometimes you get a second one, it speeds the clock up. That is Merfolk's strategy. So May knowing just like I will sneak out this Trickster because that's the queen for now. I just need to start getting in for this damage. And you can see Merfolk will kind of persist through that strategy over and over and over.
Yeah, I think a little bit, unlike Delver, I mean, there are 4 copies of the card Delver of Secrets in a Delver deck. Merfolk goes a little wider. They have more options, so maybe not protect the queen, but protect the
whole court, right? Yeah, get them all. Yeah, it can play both ways, and you especially see based on, I've even seen some Merfolk decks with like counterspell, force negation, subtleties. Like, I think the more you're trying to interact, the more you can ride a card like Svalun for quite some turns.
Absolutely, yeah. May has not been able to attack with a Svalun as of yet. That does get her some card advantage there. Activating the Mutavault on her turn now after Teferi bounced the Trickster back to her hand. Mutavault will take care of that last loyalty counter on the Teferi.
And then Mutavault might have hid a little from Michael, you know. Kind of the downside of these creature lands is sometimes they just sit in someone's mana base until they really, really matter.
I don't know. May puts her lands right up front for everyone to see, so she's giving them as much help as she can.
Someone in chat talking about enjoying the Flame of Anor versions of Merfolk. I like calling that fried fish. And
sure, there's a bunch of wizards in Merfolk.
There are so many. And Flood Moon herself, incoming Harbinger of the Sea, I believe. Is also a wizard, so it's going to maintain that style of synergy as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Merfolk generally, the second color you see them splash is going to be green, just with all those Ixalan sort of synergies there. Flame of Anor is a blue-red card. But flashing, you know, Merfolk is definitely a blue base deck. So getting a multicolor spell with at least blue in its cost doesn't seem too stressful. We
saw May here again trying to sneak in this Trickster just for getting aggression. But Mike, with all this mana, is able to respond with subtlety and now has their own threat for, I think, the first time in this game in this flying 3/3 subtlety.
Indeed. May's still sitting at a full healthy 20. Michael just at 6 now. We'll see a Lord.
The Island Walk's going to come into play. Plus a second Lord.
Another Lord.
And now this Mutavault's going to rumble in for 4. All right, we have to interact bolt on one of these. Sure. Because if we boot up this Mutavault, it would be a 4/4, which would not be boltable. Sneaking in, got that Island Walk.
Island Walk, yep. It'll be half your life total there, Michael.
That's what the Merfolk do. They walk on your islands. Big rips here. Leyline Button.
Oh, that's a big rip. That's a good rip.
Because now the Mutavault only attacks for 2. Your subtlety is a blocker.
And it's blockable.
And that was not a Lord off the top.
Ooh, a Tidebinder for Michael is very strong. We'll play this
is
out in
fine.
his end step. A Hex Catcher does not give Island Walk like the other lords do. And also not legendary. Oh, is this one in Japanese, perhaps? We'll get
Oh,
the
sure.
English one out from under the binding.
That's so fun to do. Where it's like, oh, this one in play is in English, or I do this when I have like one pretty copy of a card, and you like kill one. I'm like, can I keep the good looking one?
Woo! All right.
We're gonna counter the Mutavault activation.
Yes. Can she just animate it again in response?
So what you do is let that resolve, right?
Uh-huh.
It's a land, so it doesn't get shut down by the Tidebinder, and then you could just reactivate if you wanted to. May here with an even bigger plan, getting in there with that subtlety to take care of it.
Yeah, we'll make the spell not resolve, right? Because that's going to counter the cast. So Mutavault doesn't need to be reanimated there. Mana checks out.
Yep. While we have a moment, I just want to talk through just that last part there. So Mutavault, when you go to activate it, if it gets stifled by a Tidebinder, Tidebinder specifically stops creatures, artifacts, and planeswalkers. That's the like delete the text box mode. If you let it just be countered, then you just have a land that still has all of its abilities because it's not creature, artifact, or planeswalker. You were trying to make it into one of those.
Right.
So if you let that resolve, you can just go once more and animate the card. And you might catch an opponent by surprise thinking they've locked it fully down, but they stopped it from going creature mode.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I like about playing standard Merfolk is that some people are unfamiliar with some of the interactions. And when you're playing in a very competitive setting, you might catch them off guards. At a casual level, though, it's always good to use as a teaching moment, I feel.
Oh, yeah. Teaching moment is a nice way to put it. Right?
Yeah, grow the game. You gotta kill them in a bunch of different ways, and they gain the experience. I've had to come up with like Restless Anchorage because it does have a attack trigger as well. So then there's some weirdness with that.
And then it like loses flying, right? Yep, which is all these things are relevant.
It loses the full text box, so it actually loses the ability to make mana. It does tap. It doesn't have vigilance, so it is tapped already. But if you were to untap it with some other thing, it does lose the mana.
I think I said this when the card first came out. Tidebinder will be a card until the end of time that we will learn more and more interactions every time it comes up.
It's super fun. As players go to sideboard here, we'll take a look at deck lists. We'll see
little peek.
May's full 75 here. Saw a bunch of that initial 60 in that first game, but we'll take a look at her sideboard here. Harbinger of the Tides, Kira, Great Glass, Spinner, Stern, Scolding, Hercules, Recall, Dismember, Force of Negation, a full 4 of Hibernation, and Grafdigger's Cage rounds out the 15.
So this is really interesting because it's a sideboard, not geared for the opponent you're playing against. Mike here playing like modified, more colored version of Murktide. The thing is May didn't see Murktide. All May saw was interactive spells and subtlety and Tidebinders.
Yeah.
So kind of more of trying to tempo back the tempo player, which I wonder if May will feel incentivized to bring in cards like the Stern Scoldings. You saw these Tidebinders, but they don't hit the subtleties. They're not going to hit a big Merc if you see one.
I think Force Negations are probably a better include here just for all the interaction.
Yeah, because you saw all interaction. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Do we have any sort of deck list for Michael? No, so I guess we'll see what he brings in from his sideboard.
That'll be the fun. Or I'll be like, oh, where'd that Wear Tear come from? Or, oh, is this copy of Get Lost in the main or in the board? And for May, we can even think about this. We're looking at these Force of Negations. May has these main deck copies of Dismember. We didn't see like the best targets for those, right? We only saw those Tidebinders and those subtleties. If you'd rather have forces because you think your creatures can just rumble through those no problem, might be a swap for those Dismembers. You could even see, we're playing like 4 Svalun. Do we need all 4 of these? We have our 4 Tide Shapers, but our opponent's already playing Islands. Do we need to kind of do that manual mode? So there's definitely some spots where it's like, if you want 1, 2, or even 4 of these forces, you can probably find the room.
Yeah, I think the question is probably where are we trimming? The Dismember seem like a really good option there. Or you can just keep them in and clear the way. Like you said, I'm really hesitant to cut 1-drops just because I feel like density of threats is really important for Merfolk. What's going on there, bud?
I think Mike's going to mulligan this hand, but the very first card he drew was Settle the Wreckage.
Was it really?
I'm so ready to game now.
Oh my gosh.
It was like Settle the Wreckage.
It's like 4-color double white.
Yeah.
That's
We're keeping this too. The back half of the hand must have been lands because I swear it was like Settle the Wreckage, Express Federation, Orcish Bowmaster.
Settle the Wreckage is so funny, but it's also so unfortunate because May probably is playing the most basics of anyone except for maybe Adam.
This is true. But thankfully, we know that the only piece of interaction that May really has for it is those force negations that we would have brought in.
Sure.
And if we get settled, it's our own turn, and it's not a free spell. So Mike actually might be able to catch May and May's turn with it.
Interesting. There is still the Hex Catcher that can be activated there.
But like,
Settle the Wreckage.
Who expects it?
I love it. I'll see a open wide board right on my opponent's side, and I'll sit there and I'll be like,
but what if they have settled?
But what if they have Settle the Wreckage?
As May begins right here in this, we were saying Mike's bringing his own islands to the event, which means May doesn't need to really kick this because it'll already be on 2/2 mode. And it may help the future Tidebinders. We saw Mike was playing Triumphs and stuff. Might just help shut stuff down. But at least we know that Mike's can bring his own islands to the party.
Settle is a card that scars you. Yeah, it impacts you. The first time you get settled is a defining moment in a Magic player's lifetime.
And there's something about it. It's a card that has carried like a slight meme quality to it. So it's one that kind of has lived beyond its life.
I think it's a little bit bigger than the card actually has like impacted the game of Magic.
Yeah, there was a standard chunk for like a little while, but it's not as big as the meme of it can be.
Absolutely agreed there.
It's kind of one of those cards that you would probably never play in an open decklist tournament, but a random local closed decklist, oh yeah, it's time.
So funny. We'll see if Michael's able to get her here with it.
We've started on Watery Grave and Lorien's for Steam Vents. This thing is hidden.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Does he have white sources in his hand?
So I think what's going on here is we're setting up our mana. We have a counterspell in hand, and we're looking to Bowmaster, but this thing's a 2/2, right?
It is a 2/2. He controls an island. May's going to remind him of that here.
Would you call it before? Teachable moment. Right? The Tide Shaper is a 1/1.
It is.
With a static +1/+1. May, Human Being of the Year, says, you didn't know? This thing's a 2/2. You can take that back. No problem.
Take it back, friend. Bestie. All right. We'll go back to her turn then with Michael leaving his mana open.
Because this Bowmaster is still good for Mike because May could have thrown the Tiebinder into combat. It's very telegraphed and known now at this point.
But it's okay. The Lord has 2 toughness there. Oh, but instead he's got the counter spell.
But
crash in for 2, down to 13 for Michael.
Yeah, this is the thing is it's turn 2.5-ish here, and Michael's already down to 13 trying to resolve this Express Federation. That just means you're not killing any of these Merfolk.
Like I said, when you suggested trimming the Tide Shapers, this is the exact scenario that I envisioned. Sometimes you just play a thing on turn 1, and it just continues to hit.
When your 1-drop deals 10 damage, that's all you need to do.
It's great. It's good. Because a Merfolk player is playing threats that are more relevant than the Tide Shaper, so the Tide Shaper can continue to get in while the other things get removed.
Oh, yeah, it did again.
Again, same as game 1, will go to fetch, and it will get Tidebindered. In return, it will get Subtletied, pitching another counterspell.
This is showing that Mike favors his mana over all these cards in hand, right? That's
a lot, yeah. Very good point there.
We need this delta to resolve. We know that Mike needs to get up to 4 mana.
It's also should be pointed out that Tidebinder is a 3/2, and he's at 10. That puts him on a 2-turn clock with the Tide Shaper in play.
Yes, I feel like Merfolk is one of the best decks at demonstrating the concept of a clock in Magic, because so much of Merfolk is understanding, like, I'll attack with these 2. If I attack with these 2 for the next 3 turns, you're dead. My clock is 3 turns. I need to live that long. And then just, like, lining up your interactive spells in a manner to make that happen.
The fetch will go off, and Mike will grab his first white source here.
And when we at least have a Leyline Binding hanging out in hand, that we might be able to tag this Tidebinder.
Are you gonna put a Tide Shaper under a Leyline Binding?
It's the only thing hitting me.
It's just a 2/2. It's just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
Indeed. May up to 4 lands here. She hasn't been missing any land drops yet. Has another Mutable in hand as well. Go to attacks.
Yep.
Oh.
Because what the situation here is, we can shoot for 1 and then block with one of our 2 1/1s if we want to try to ambush this Tide Shaper.
Indeed.
If May has a Flash Lord, this may go poorly. Smart looks like double block from Mike here, in case there is a piece of interaction or a Lord.
Mm.
And now we kind of traded 1-for-1 with this Tide Shaper, even though it already dealt like 6 damage.
It did do a lot of damage.
Leaving behind this little 1/1 for us.
On May's second main here, tanking a little bit. 3 cards in hand for her. Leave a blue source open there, and we'll kick a Tide Shaper, excuse me, and we'll take down
the white source.
The white source.
So, what's happening here is no more Settle the Wreckage.
No more Settle the Wreckage. I assume Mike will go for another white source here at least.
Right. Hollowed Fountain, it feels like something.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what his land spread is in his deck.
Oh, another Triumph. There you go.
Sure. That one also gives you white. That's Esper. The other one was Jeskai. A little bit of a different flavor of white.
Yeah, I think if you're May, we're kind of in the deciding turns of the game where it's starting to slip out of May's favor into Michael's. But we need to get through kind of this next like turn and a half because we still have this Tide Shaper with this Mutavault. These are our pressure pieces. But if Mike can start putting things together to deal with those, we're going to start running out of steam.
Merfolk does have some staying power in the mid game here. They have some really good draws. Trying to see what the draw would be.
Yeah, we drew Aether Vial here, which is not where you want to be on turn 5.
I thought maybe it would be some other sort of sideboard artifact, but we know her sideboard. It's not like a Graph Digger's Cage or nothing like that. Tide Shaper will get in here for 2 points of damage. Before damage,
we're using the binding here.
The binding will be activated. You have to, very good job there, tapping 2, paying correctly for the leyline. I think so many people are used to that costing 1.
And I wonder, because we haven't seen it yet out of May, if those force negations indeed did come in. But also, I think May understanding that you can kind of let your little threat at a time get answered because you have another one to follow it up with, right? This Phalune and this Mutavault, and you have a second Mutavault, that maybe it's just not worth your counterspell, not worth your interaction, because you can continue to present.
Does the land stay an island if Tide Shaper is no longer on the field? That's how they've represented it here.
It does not. We should be able to... Michael does have access to his Triumph again.
Okay, maybe we should tell them that because it looks like he is representing incorrectly then.
Yep, it's very important. As we know, I think he's trying to sneak in this Tidebinder here. But it's just good to help them know and understand where they're currently at.
Indeed. Doing some combat stuff here. Let them know.
Swap CD, we're back in my action.
All good.
Thank you so much.
Doesn't really affect anything right now, but could definitely change Michael's decision making in the next couple of turns here.
Because we know he needs that double white.
Yeah, we do know.
Oh, we happen to know.
We got that caster's vision. Down to 7 here.
Yep, Mike continuing to stem the bleeding.
May.
Like I said, and Mike, May is lost on 2 of those threats now. We're down to just the Mutavault. We're tapped out for this turn. You can start to feel in your bones that, no pun intended, that the tide is changing, right?
Indeed.
It seems to slowly be moving to like the more controlling decks. The late game is where they flourish.
May will cast a Master of the Pearl Trident, which will get a hard cast Subtlety. Put that back on top. Michael got in for a point of damage. Ooh, there's that new Secret Lair Aether Vial.
I think that might just be May using this chance to cast the spell.
Yeah.
Get it out there.
Might get to a point here where you want to, have that accessible. Get in for a few more points of damage. Like you said, I think the tide is turning here. Michael getting in for 4 points of damage with the Subtlety and the Orc Army token. Second main will cast a Teferi Time Raveler.
Minus on the Aether Vial? Yeah, just whatever. That's the only thing you do with your turn last turn. Pick it up.
Sure.
And understanding that there could be so much aggression here in the form of like this Mutavault or whatever, that Teferi is not very long for this world. The Merfolk that we put on top immediately goes straight into play. I love doing that dexterity, just like move it from the top to the stack.
For sure. Michael attacked with all his creatures, but it cannot be blocked anyway because it does indeed have...
Straight up bolt it.
Have Island Walk, but that's irrelevant in the face of a bolt.
Now, May, I think this is the final card May is playing in this Aether Vial for her, but Mike has 1 card in hand and this card off the top, so card parity is very close.
May used her Odawara as land for turn to cast the Aether Vial. It's interesting to me. You might want to use the Odawara as a spell at this point. We'll see if that becomes relevant at some
I think the
time
difficulty
here.
is you can't cast the OR unless the land's in play anyways.
That's a good point. Yeah,
And May understand
Master is not legendary, so
yeah, May might having some draws the cards like Subtlety and the like, just understanding that the 4th mana source in play might be the only thing that matters, as this big Murktide 7/7 has shown up to the party.
Okay, big draw for May here.
Yeah, and this Murktide and the Subtlety, that's 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 point short of lethal here, as these lords are looking to fight back with their Island Walk.
Indeed, it's not quite enough damage.
Mike with the settled wreckage and the an expressive iteration was the drop return. We could get greedy and try to EI, but I think we're just gonna hold up. We're gonna hold it up.
Ooh.
May needs to draw exactly Force Negation to fight back here. Oh,
What you got?
The settle the wreckage. Stop. Yes, May understand. May get
Oh my gosh! What a way to go out!
Like this.
The settle the wreckage for game.
I
Oh my
felt
gosh.
it in my bones when I saw him draw this card. And I was like, "There's no way, right?" And here we are, turn a bajillion with exact lethal in play against exact lethal, firing back with Settle the Wreckage,
Man.
lining us up for game number 3. May, if we did not have those force negations, it's time to bring him in.
I agree. All right, let's take a look at sideboards again. Just to remind you what she had there.
I see May bringing both the dismembers back in, it felt like. Oh, but they're being swapped back. The dismembers are dancing around, though. Oh, and
maybe we should keep it on this screen then, see if we can tell how she sideboards here.
And the interesting question was the Stern Scoldings. So we also saw the Orcish Bowmasters. So the question ends up being like half of Michael's threats get hit by those and the other half don't. I think they got left. I think May debated real quick on the dismembers. I think they stayed in the board. And we're firing up on the play for Merfolk for May, on the draw for 4-Claw Murktide for Michael.
May had a great showing last week. This is week 3 of our league.
May's like tied for second, right?
Yes, she is tied for second, just 2 points under our current point leader. Started playing in last season's league a little bit more than halfway through, and she's determined to play the whole league this time.
And May just moved here.
Yes, she did. She's new to the area. We're glad to have her here. She's been crushing locals since she's been here. With that ever-present Merfolk deck.
There's got to be a great feeling of, this is my deck, this is what I play, and the next set has upgrades.
Yes!
Right? It has to be such a feeling.
That's why I liked Merfolk when I first started playing it, because there were a bunch of bans going on in Modern at the time, and I was like, there's not a single card in this deck that will
They're not touching these ones.
Ever get banned, and it's just a great feeling.
Yeah, we see May with a quick mulligan tossing it back here. Mike, I see with a hand with like engineering explosives and bolts, but that's not enough. Also going back for a 6.
Alrighty, we'll see how game 3 shakes out here. If you're enjoying the content so far, make sure to hit that follow button. We're live every Wednesday at 6:30 with some Modern Magic, and live every Thursday at 6:30 with some Pokemon. We're doing some really fun Pokemon streams in the coming summer months. We're going to be shaking it up with the standard format, extended format, and gym leader challenges. So make sure to check that out if you're into Pokemon TCG. We just had our second team NRG teammate qualify for Worlds.
Ooh.
Dan and Ryan are both headed to Hawaii as of this weekend. So I'm very excited there. We have some truly incredible people on the team. So if you enjoyed it all, please be sure to check that out.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time for the Pokemon crew. We've got a couple of the locals from our store here flying out to Dallas this weekend for the RC. Haviva, are you going?
I am going. I'm not qualified
yet,
but we will be playing some LCQs.
Yeah. Heading out there with some qualified folk, right?
Indeed, yes. I will say the biggest buff to your Magic play is becoming friends with good Magic players.
Friends, if your friends are better than you, boy, oh boy.
Oh, it's so nice. You just get, it's great practice, great advice and insight.
I would say my game
card availability.
The most. Let's see. I think my game has improved the most from good chats with, I'll say dibs on Chris Smith. Who would you say?
I think No, I think Chris gives really bad advice about decks, but he's good at playing.
That's why we're in the DMs. I want the bad advice.
You'll hit up Chris and be like, "Hey, Chris, what should I play?" And he's like, "I got you."
Chris and I come to each other with the worst ideas, and then he top eights anyways. So what does it matter? As May taking it mold of 5, I saw Force and a Salty hit the bottom, but it is Tide Shaper to start us off.
We have a turn 1 threat, ladies and gentlemen.
And we know Mike also mulliganed down to 6. Looks like they kept that 6 while May was transferring down to the 5. But remember, I think going to 6 is so free when you're on the draw in the new mulligan format. Michael is on 7 cards now, right? He's drawn up to 7 for their turn against May, who has 3 cards right now. Like, the disparity feels so big right in the beginning of the game.
Indeed. See that Tide Shaper begin to get in for damage with that fetch on the field, though. It just does 1 so far.
And Mike has felt the scar a little of make sure you get these fetches in before May gets a 3-ban.
Absolutely fetching here, I assume for a Triome. It's like Sam Black. That's very high praise. I'll let Chris know he's just been compared to Sam Black.
It is the same idea, right? Of like playing the something janky that you understand. Your opponents do not, and allows to carry you like so far through.
I will absolutely admit I do not understand half the deck Sam Black plays.
That's okay. Neither does Sam Black.
I disagree. I think he's got a much better idea than I do.
That's actually completely not true because I just watched 2 documentaries about 2 different decks, and Sam Black helped design both of them. So it's a wild world as Mike resolving this engineered explosives, a card out of the sideboard. And I love this. EE on 2. I think 2 is such an important mana value for the Merfolk deck.
There's one. All the lords are at 2. I'm trying to think what else is at 2.
All the lords.
Just all the lords,
and the tricksters.
And the tricksters, yeah.
You just look down and there's like 3 2-drops in play all the time when you're playing against
Merfolk. But they have like 4 or 5 power.
That's why I got to get them all with this EE, right?
Yeah.
That's how I got to try to grab them all at the same time.
This matchup, I feel like, has to be scary for Michael because his lands do so much damage to him.
Yeah, this is the more colors you play, the more the percentage points lean in a deck with any aggro tilt.
Indeed.
You can try to bolt these away. The hard cast Force to get rid of that bolt. Make sure that's exiled. Murktide is in your deck. Love it. Thank you, May. But this is what I was talking about. May hard cast, and I think May has a single card left. Might go around looking at 4 cards in hand still, popping the ZE to deal with what's in play.
Yeah, the Tide Shaper is still there, though. It's continue to crack in here. Mutavault will get animated as well. Smack for 4.
This is a 3-turn clock by itself. Right now, this is chime of the clock number 1. We need 2 more. Oh,
and the Mutavault is much harder to deal with.
Yeah, especially with cards like Leyland Binding, Prismatic Ending, and the likes, saying non-land.
Could get hit with a Settle the Wreckage.
Sure could.
Could get hit with a Settle the Wreckage.
Mike, do you got Plains and Rafine's Tower right now?
I see what you're seeing.
If I'm May, I'm terrified. But you just have to apply this pressure. You've got 2
there
cards.
she goes. Oh,
it's just
no. Okay.
It's
all right.
It's salty. It's salty. And none of these cards are lorded up, so this was our way to be able to answer the Mutavault. Levine that Tide Shaper.
Second main will cast an Aether Vial and pass it back.
Mike trying to turn the tide here again like we did in game number 2, but our life total is way lower than when we tried to do this in game number 2.
Indeed. This is what we saw in game 1. May just had all this advantage, eventually drew into enough damage.
This would be the important part on if May brought the Dismembers back in. This is kind of the one where you were saying you would like them just to get that blocker out of the way. Archmage's Charm?
Archmage's Charm?
Yo.
Bro, who's played?
Paging Raja Suleiman. There's an Archmage's Charm on the stack right now. If you're out there, please let me know.
How does this deck with so many colors play a 3 blue pip spell? I love this deck building, man.
Mike's been doing this for like years. He was playing this 4-color, 5-color Murktide nonsense, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, you could just play Leyland Binding. He's like, no, I can't. I was like, Bro, trust me. Trust me, you'll be just fine.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Michael says that's my Tide Shaper.
That's so rude. I've stolen cards with Archmage's Charm, but to take a Tide Shaper away from the Merfolk player.
Usually you take like a Ragavan or something.
Or like a Construct token or a Rhino.
What if he took the Aether Vial?
Yeah, get up to 7, but that Merfolk.
Because Aether Vial, I didn't mention this in game 2. It's not just because you want the mana open; it's because you want non-counterable creatures.
You want to be able to flash cards that are flashed. You want to be able to give them a suitor uncounterability. Like it makes sense.
Ooh, Silvergale Adept will reveal a lord.
Okay. They're both in Japanese. Quick explanation for Mike here. But
a
May doing the
2-1.
classic, like I'm gonna draw and then probably play this Lord that I put down on the table.
Exactly. Or the Aether Vial.
Bolt the Silver Gill.
Aether Vial's on 2, so that Lord can come out at end step if Michael so desires. Or May so desires, excuse me.
Yeah. May has Aether Vial locked and loaded.
Can use it as a blocker against... No, the Tide Shaper's a
big
2-2
Merc.
on Michael's side of the field, too.
1, 2, 3 spells. This is a 5/5 Merc, 6/6 Murktide. 6/6
Indeed.
Murktide. And then the Subtlety and your own Tide Shaper getting in there. There's lethal in play for Michael Ryan. May Vials our Lord into play. That's
What's the
1
draw?
damage, 2 damage.
It's 2.
2. Oh, not like this.
Oh,
Lord.
another
Okay.
Lord.
3 island walking damage.
Okay, that's half the life total. May, where's your lightning bolt?
Oh, pass. We're gonna
Oh.
block this Tide Shaper. Our plan is block Tide Shaper.
It is blockable. I mean, it's always been blockable, but now it is bigger than the Tide Shaper, so it can survive too.
Yeah, it's pumped up by the other Lord. The Lords are shaking hands, making each other stronger. Mike has so many cards though. It just turns them sideways.
Yeah, there you go.
May, do you have a Subtlety to block as well? Oh, it's Odor. It's Odor for the big
Oh.
Murktide. Uncounterable bounce. Pick up the Murktide. Not even block.
She didn't block.
Because
Oh
now
my God.
she has 2 lethal threats in play right now.
I think playing around maybe a lightning bolt here. I don't
Yes.
mean no. I don't think.
Because May needs
Like
to
she
keep
doesn't
both of
want the
these.
damage marked.
Oh,
Oh my God!
That's it. Pick it up. The 2 lethal threats in play. The Odawara doing what it needs to do, and Merfolk May taking it down in the sickest, tightest 3-game set. Remember, there's a subtle wreckage in game 2, but there's an Odawara in game number 3.
I would like to dedicate this match to Tide Shaper. I feel like it was really the best
MVP.
card. Yes,
MVP.
there it is.
Yeah, Mike, get that out of your deck. Give that
There it
back to
goes.
her.
It almost won Michael the game after stealing it. Kept May from winning sooner.
Woo-wee.
That is the best card in the deck. Hands down. What a match.
And there's some-
in game 3, 2 May will head to a backup match.
Who could it be? Let him know.
Ever present George Jabor sitting in the backup match with an unusual deck, one he doesn't play as often, in Golgari Yogmoth against Ryan Reynolds playing Jund Creativity.
Do you know the secret backstory to this Yogmoth deck?
It's yours?
It's his wife's.
It's his wife's. I forgot, yes.
So George and his wife Angela play very, very simple casual magic together. In the side of the
simple modern
hold up.
playing.
They play the Izzet versus Golgari duel deck together.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that
I know.
play a simple Yogg blue-white control matchup.
And once this deck became popular and she started to express more of an interest, it's Yoggen time. That's the Golgari deck of the format. So George picked this up from a local teammate who was trying to sell out, didn't want to play Yogmoth anymore. George picked it up, has it in case she ever wants to at least do something, have a little fun. And now this is the second time George played it at weeklies because he lends out his blue-white deck to other players. So there's someone out there looking to...
Someone, who could it be?
There's someone out there trying to get some points, maybe stay at the top of the leaderboard, who's playing what we think is the local busted deck. And here's George just doing some combat math and Court of Calling.
There was a good point about the last match there. Lord of Atlantis buffs all the Merfolk on the field. I can't remember if it was
so true.
Lord or Master on the field, though, because Master does not do that.
Those are both
does.
Lords. Because Master has no fancy printings and Lord has all the fancy printings.
Okay.
And I believe that was the 30th edition Japanese stamped Master.
Okay, so then
Or
the
Lords,
Tide
sorry,
Shaper
Lords.
would have been buffed on Michael's side, too, even though he didn't own a Lord himself.
Oh no, people sounding off in chat. They know about the Flex Slot blue-white decks. It's getting out there.
Oh no, it's on a public forum. People found out. No.
Oh no, it's not the person who played it and won the team event at the NRG. Couldn't be. Not flexing on that slot out there. No, couldn't be.
Oh boy. George asked permission to use his dice, by the way, folks.
The Yogg dice.
Gotta use the fancy Yogg dice. It is super helpful as well.
Yeah, the Yogg dice
doing-
kit comes with +1 counters, -1 counters, -0 -1 counters, and Planeswalker dies.
Yes, the Wall of Roots counters can be very relevant, especially when you get Agatha's Soul Cauldron into the mix, and you start throwing weird counters on weird creatures that
And
don't
it
usually
doesn't-
have them.
They don't negate +1s, whereas negative ones do. So you have to be very careful and very specific.
Exactly. Very wide board state here for George. Hey.
Ryan,
Haywire,
do you have...
Yogg, Young Wolf, Orcish Bowmaster, and its friend.
Ryan has an Emrakul in hand.
I do see that. I did. I was going to point that out. It's
discarded to this Fable. This is a sideboard threat. Has to be an incredible one if you can sneak it into play. The Jund creativity deck designed to get Bitter Reunion and give these creatures haste. An Emrakul with haste can really clean up a Yogmoth battlefield.
Indeed, it can. That we like to say the Yogmoth deck is full of a lot of little guys, and Emrakul is certainly
the biggest guy.
The biggest not a guy.
Biggest gal. Biggest gal. Biggest gal.
Yeah. Biggest noodle monster. Does Emrakul have a gender? Is Emrakul female?
I believe when Emrakul speaks of themselves, they say she.
Okay, rad.
But I believe I
love that for her.
They are still big,
they non-conforming
monsters. But Emrakul speaks of themselves in
right
the
on.
she speak.
Right on. She grabbed that bit of culture from the humans.
Yeah. As we saw the shuffling there, that was from the pitch of the Emrakul. Drawn a little bit here, trying to filter through this Fable. George, honestly, in such a nice little safe spot. Ryan is very, very hard to go for creativity when Yogmoth and all your little guys ruin your dwarf token, right?
Exactly, yeah. If you go to creativity and the target dies before the spell resolves, then you can't get your thing, and it looks like Ryan is in that position there.
This shows
we'll shake with George, and George will take down the match in 3.
Yeah, the power of Yogmoth is Yogmoth themselves is both a combo piece and an incredible piece at controlling a board state, as long as you yourself have one. Like, it'd be very difficult for the Jund deck if it doesn't come out of the gate swinging. Looks like that game went a little while, and it was just cardboard v cardboard. George had 15 pieces of cardboard, and that's the Yogmoth way.
All right, before we head into a quick break, we're going to look at our weekly in-store play schedule. We offer 5 different organized play for 5 different TCGs here at the store. Magic, Pokemon, Digimon, One Piece, and Lorcana in no particular order there. Here's the ways that you can play them. On Wednesday, of course, is Modern. Thursday, we'll be live with the Pokemon, and we also have free play EDH. You can come and make your own pods. We give out promo packs for that anywhere from precons to CEDH. Friday is a double F&M with Standard and Legacy, as well as One Piece. Saturday will be Digimon, where we'll be hosting locals there. Monday is Digimon League, or is it's the other way around. Saturday's the League. Monday's regular Digimon, as well as Open Play Commander once again. Tuesday rounds out that schedule with One Piece League and Lorcana as well. We have a Lorcana case tourney this Saturday. You can practice the best of 2 format for the Chicago Challenge. If you're looking for some advice on the game, we have a great community here that is growing all the time. Lorcana is finally getting their OP regionals underway, so come check us out for that case tournament on Saturday. With that being said, we'll head into a quick break. We'll be right back.
See y'all soon.
Welcome back, players. We're in round 2 of our Wednesday Modern League here at Nerd Rage Gaming. We got Adam and Luke in the feature match area. Burn versus Coffers, Cabal Coffers. Thought this would be an interesting little matchup. See if a deck with some potential for life gain is able to stabilize against a very fast killing deck.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting because Luke's deck has kill spells that gain life, and copies of the One Ring. So, a lot of cards that are difficult for the Burn deck to see on the other side. And Adam right now playing the Burn Prowess hybrid.
Sure. Interesting. Okay.
Basically meaning I got Slick Shot in my Burn deck.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that card's fantastic.
It's pretty good. It's better than Eidolon of the Great Revel, I'll tell you that much. This Eidolon attacks for 9 in the air. So you get to plot it, send off your flurry of burn spells, then get your bird in there. Like,
Eidolon was real good for a minute.
It was.
It was real good for a minute. I remember when Adam brought it back, he's like, this card is the truth. He beat Coffers.
It was
remember?
The truth.
Oh, that was a great match.
But this is just faster.
It's a bit faster.
What's going to help
Adam? It's an
Adam
Eidolon that flies and smacks really hard.
Yeah. So Adam is playing Burn, but I believe we have Lava Darts and Slick Shots, and possibly even as far as DRC Bobble.
Interesting. What about mutagenic growth or something?
No,
like that?
The mutagenic instead is Bolt Lava Spikes.
Sure.
And then Adam even told me that Boros Charm gets even better when you give your Slick Shot Double Strike.
Oh my god, Boros Charm might actually have another mode?
Yeah, so here's a Swift Steer and a Bobble, so we are playing those, getting in 2 damage here on turn number 1. I was a big fan when I played Burn like a year ago of melding it with the like DRC Bobble package, and now Adam can push it even farther with this Dart and this Slick Shot. Drawing looks like 2 Lava Darts in hand right now, so definitely able to apply the Prowess pressure.
Like I said, I love seeing a threat on turn 1 here. This threat is going to get a little bit bigger than a Tide Shaper might, though.
I think Luke is used to Lava Dart, took 1 damage, and Adam when it's a little more than that.
Excuse me, sir.
And
You're a little more
here's
dead.
the Dart, which
Oh,
adds a
boy.
Prowess.
Oh boy. And then, was there a second dart? There is a second dart.
There is a second dart in
so
hand.
kill next turn. Right? No, darts are 1. Excuse me. I got so excited. Excuse me.
But we will be able to cast 3 total darts.
Indeed.
But we will lose our mountains for that. So it's very important. Adam doing what Adam does best and drawing a few too many lands.
Ooh, Sheoldred's Edict. That's a great card.
And this new
Field of
iteration,
Ruin.
this really aggro style burn, the Surveil lands are gone. So no good use here for this Wooded Foothills.
No, not at all. There's the Field of Ruin is going to take care of the white source there. Shortcut and grab the other land off the fetch as well.
Love a player who shortcuts. Love a shortcut. I was lying.
I was about to say, look at that.
So,
Elegant Parlor hits the field there. We'll see a Surveil land indeed.
Adam and I talked about it last week, and I went, does it have a Surveil land? He went, no, but I'm thinking of cutting a spell. So we might have done it. I'm so proud. These cards are busted.
They're so busted that you would put a land over a spell in your burn deck, apparently.
Is
that not what you said?
Good friend of mine and currently qualified for champs, Sean Gallagher,
Yeah.
played one over a spell in Delver in Legacy. Was like, I think this is just better than a spell. Wild. These cards are wild.
Was it an instant or sorcery spell?
Probably.
All right, interesting.
You will get some people who will try to convince you that Surveil lands are a free consider that hits a land every time.
Oh, not what you generally see burn do, spending 3 for a skewer there.
Just hit them. Pay your 3 for it. Send it upstairs. We got 8 damage to do.
Luke, not doing a whole lot on his side of the field, kind of treading water at this point. Missed a land drop even. He kept a 5 card hand, so maybe was just, not really willing to go down to 4 and kept an iffy one there.
Adam's hand is 2 lava darts.
Ooh.
So we have all of our little 1 damage dealers.
4 damage right now.
Right. We have 4 in hand and a dart in the yard. So we could 5 at the cost of 2 of our mountains. So Luke's at a theoretical 3 life, and Luke doesn't even know it yet.
Okay. All right, both players shuffling up here after the demolition field, I think it was this time.
Yep, that one's a demo field. No real difference in this matchup particularly. It's not like Luke is playing these alongside archive traps like you'd see out of the mill decks. So these cards are the same text. It is just coffers, 8 fields, ruin your mana base.
Ooh, there's a swamp.
That's a swamp.
It's fun looking
That's
too.
a ring.
Ooh, that's an expensive ring.
Yeah, they are. Luke's are foil, too. That's why this deck's triple-sleeved coffers.
Ooh. And he's got the really
Pew,
nice
pew.
sleeves, too. All right,
Send
here
it.
goes some darts.
Yeah, I can't do it, so I'll do them now.
Indeed. Okay, before the damage
Passable.
from the, or the protection from the ring goes off there for viewers.
So Luke's going to untap. Adam has lethal in the form of all 3 darts in the bin and the bolt in his hand. And he's going to do it right now in response to this shield red.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep. Do the math again
Bolt
real quick.
you.
Bolt you. And
And
then
then sack.
that's it. All 3
sack,
darts. All 3
sack.
darts. Pew, 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 pew. That's exactly the 3 in response to Shieldred, a powerful life gain spell to go alongside this one ring.
Man.
Luke was about to gain so much
close.
life.
He was so close to getting there.
And
He
I
missed
think
a land drop. I think missed it by like a single turn there, the stabilization.
Luke even had the Black March in hand, which is good for life gain, but there were no creatures around to target with it.
He edicted the single creature Adam played the entire game. We'll go into sideboards here with Adam up on game 1. First, we'll look at Luke's deck here, rocking a 61-card main board and Walking Bullets to Shouldred. Cityscape Leveler, Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, 4 Imps Mischiefs, Damnation, 2 Chalice of the Void, Liquid Metal, Cody and Snaring Bridge, Trinosphere, and the 1 Ring for his sideboard.
Why are there so many artifacts?
Are we playing Karn the Great Creator?
We're playing Karn the Great Creator. So we can kind of shuffle along the Leveler, the Ballista, the Chalices, the Coding, the E-Bridge, the Transfer, and the One Ring. But I see 2 copies of Chalice. What this always indicates to me when you have a Karn board and it has 2 of a card, that means sometimes you want to bring one in and have access to one from your Karn.
Okay.
And this is one of those matchups where a Chalice on 1 is still going to be very good, especially because it looks like Adam has shifted some of those like 3 manas that are technically 1 manas to being Lava Darts, which are actual 1 mana spells, alongside possibly having DRCs in our deck. So a Chalice on 1 could be very effective. So much, though, that I may want both of these.
I have a question. Imp's Mischief was in my very first deck ever, so it's been a minute since I've cast it. It changes the target of a spell.
And you lose life equal to its mana cost.
And you lose life equal to its mana cost.
So you would still get bolted.
Oh, you just copy it.
Sorry,
it's a change target.
You'll take 1 and you could redirect. I wonder if this is Luke's cards for trying to beat Prowess, where you're like, actually, I'll move the bolt to your slick shot and I'll take 1 damage. Hey, you know what? That might be it.
Okay, so Imp's Mischief might be fun here because with a Karn board, you aren't siding in a lot either. Anyway, rather. Are there cards that you would consider cutting, though?
There are cards like Invoke Despair and Torment of Hailfire, some like real big stuff that you don't have that kind of time. That's not the kind of matchup. So if you want to swap these out for some Chalices and some Imp's Mischief and get like some real cheap cards in your deck, maybe even swapping out like your Night's Whisper, where card draw spells are good to find your good cards. If you replace it with a good card, you don't need to draw them. You drew it already.
Exactly. Does Adam have a deck list submitted for us? We'll make sure we get his list quickly as well. This does look updated. There are those slick shots in the top left there. We'll take a look at his sideboard. Swift Proctor, Surgical Extraction, Searing Blaze, Wear Tear, and Roiling Vortex. Pretty simple.
Yeah, this could be a Roiling Vortex because Adam is very aware that Coffers kind of has a couple of cards that gain life. The Vortex does have the 3rd piece of text that says that life can't be gained this turn, on top of the pinging per turn and the free spelling.
That is the 3rd bit of text on that card, yes.
So it might not be a like full 4 of these, but maybe like 1, 2, or 3 just to like supplement some things that you have going on, just in case. But it's a quick and fast sideboarding here, and the players are off to the races. Turn 1, Thoughtseize for Luke.
Breaking news. You're losing your best card.
The breaking news all have like the best flavor text.
Do they?
Because they're all very punny news headlines.
That's great. I love it.
Like the Surgical Extraction has the ghost of a horse, and it's like they beat the dead horse so many times that the horses come back.
Oh man, that's really good actually. There's that cyborg card we were talking about, Rolling Vortex. However, Luke will take the Play with Fire out of Adam's hand.
The Adam White has 2 invitational cards, and it's Play with Fire and Slick Shot Show Off. So this is the deck for him.
Okay. Maybe he just really values the scry. He sees Adam sitting on a single land here.
And very importantly, because Thoughtseize hotly contested in like aggro burn matchups, this Thoughtseize you lost 2 life, but you did take a 2 damage spell from them.
There you go. That's a good point there.
Yeah.
Second discard spell. That's what I always forget. If you're confused by the first,
it's because they're coming in again,
and because Play with Fire is a 1-drop as opposed to Roiling Vortex, which is a 2-drop.
Luke took the 1 spell that does something now because we're coming back for more.
Exactly.
Playing out the Field of Ruin alongside the Dead Marshes, our Urborg in play.
A 1 ring sitting in his hand, in Luke's hand there. We'll see that come down in a bit. Bolt ya. Down to 15.
And the saving grace for Luke is Adam was missing lands.
Ooh.
It's a surveillance is so bad. No, it's going to let us filter through, find our 3rd land, and play all these other cards.
Well, been another Roiling Vortex as well. It's a very strong surveilled there. Orcish Bowmaster will come down to Adam's end step to hit him for a point of damage.
You see Adam holding onto his Mishra's Bauble because he's a deck full of prowess creatures. The card isn't as important as how much damage it could become alongside the powerful creatures.
I guess it's a good point. I wanted to see him play it out to get another draw and find a land. He eventually found one. It was a tapped land, though. And he can't get that Roiling Vortex down yet.
And Streamer Vision from the chat is saying Adam's secret card might be Slick Shot Show Off. It might be time for the show. Skadoosh? Oh. Thinking. Very important because it's going to be alongside these lava darts in this Mishra's Bauble. We're plotting it. Luke is holding up 3 mana. Why does this card have plot? It is so you can waste your opponent's mana as they're trying to hold up interaction. You can go, well, you can burn this 3 because I'm putting this away for later.
It's almost like a land that has like a Mutavault, you know. It hides away for a bit and
the
then
2/2's coming later.
out. Yeah, I just like the way that it really plays around removal.
And especially against, a deck like Coffers, we even know they're holding up like 2 Shieldred's Edicts or whatever there. Luke now just spending their turn, kind of Field of Ruining away this Elegant Parlor. It just becomes a mountain. This burn deck has the basics to spare. So it's not doing too much, but it's allowing Luke to kind of also move through his deck. Cycling away this Troll, just getting some cards deeper for the goods.
Mismatched mountains. I think Luke might have mismatched swamps as well.
Yeah, and I know Adam bought a bunch of these full art ones that he really likes.
Yeah,
the ugly one on top there.
Oh, that you say that just to hurt me, man.
And I wonder if he's playing more basics than normal, so he's like has one more than the number of fancies he has.
I see.
Getting in there for this little damage with these Bowmasters.
15 all.
But Luke, I think you're gonna slam this ring.
Yeah.
But we're tapped out, but we have the protection, so it doesn't really matter that if the Slick Shot comes down, I'm not taking any of that damage.
Or Adam could take another turn to perhaps play out a Roiling Vortex.
A Roiling Vortex. Because a part of Luke's stabilizing engine is all the cards from the ring alongside Shieldred gaining life instead of you losing life. That's the next punch after this for Luke to really take this game away. This Roiling Vortex might just be on time to stop that.
Thank you, Chatter. Unstable basics are top tier, S tier even.
S is the bottom, right?
Gifted sub.
All the way at the
Gifted sub. VIP that man.
All the way at the bottom, right? That's what S tier means?
Yes, we go in alphabetical order for our tiers.
Yeah, A, B, C, D, E, F, S.
FS.
See, House gets it. Thank you so much. We just understand the alphabet in this house as a, that's a couple all Coffers namesake card for Luke's deck.
It's pretty good.
You know it's good when the deck's named after it. And here's the Invoke Despair.
Invoke Despair. Guess it's good he didn't play out the Roiling Vortex. Adam's just going to take a bunch of damage instead.
We would have lost the Vortex. Which is interesting because...
No, he's got the other one.
No, the Invoke Despair would have made him sack the Vortex.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's good he didn't play it out.
But it's interesting that Luke played it knowing Adam's hand, right? This isn't just streamer vision. This is straight up Luke's vision.
Oh, boy. I'm not entertaining that chat message.
Despair.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's only one of them.
As let's see, the Shieldred's Edict is on the stack, being moved around. There it is.
There we go. Get our game pieces in order here. Lots of zones cards can be in.
Lots of zones.
Have it all, Coffers. Coffers, this is a much better game 2 than game 1. Molds of 5, couldn't find the land in time to hit the one ring into Shouldred. This time, top decks, or potentially, I think, top decked that Edict. Bauble, we'll see. Doesn't look like a basic at the very least.
I know Luke has not tapped his ring to draw cards here, but that ring was played last turn. Yeah. So there is not protection currently.
Roiling Vortex will be
played with 1 mana available.
Is it a top deck if you drew 3?
Yeah. It came off the top.
Yeah.
And now we're going to use this ring. And these life totals are not swapped. Adam is the one at 6 and the Coffers deck at 15 life.
It's only it only matters if it's a top deck for Miracle when you draw that many cards, you know.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, aggro Coffers here, getting in here with the little orc army that could.
There you go. We've seen it in multiple games tonight, even. Just a single creature that continues to turn sideways. Roiling Vortex going to tick down on Adam's life total as well with a Shouldred threatening 3 damage a turn. So
what Luke can do here is there's kind of a game of chicken on if Adam is or isn't going to use this Roiling Vortex. This is his only mana to work with. And it looks like Adam might be activating it with the Shieldred still on the stack before Luke even has the chance to try to gain a whole bunch of life here. In this case, we'd be gaining 4 with the ring going up to 2.
Adam is in a very
bad.
sticky situation.
It's so bad.
It's not great.
This is one of the parts of playing your Lava Dart version is your spells are so teeny tiny now.
Yeah.
Lava Dart sure ain't no Lava Spike. And being fielded away again. I was right. I know Adam owns 3 of these mountains. He's playing 4. That's where the Amonkhet comes in.
There you go. Got all the basics out. Oh, then Adam is playing way fewer basics than I thought, because I was talking about the Settle the Wreckage from earlier. May's probably the least effective deck to play that against.
That's so fair. Except maybe, I guess, Coffers, but how many cards are they really attacking with?
Sure.
Hit the little 1/1 that could.
Here it come.
Adam, are you going to spike the 1/1? Is that what you're
Yeah, I think
that what you're thinking about?
It looks like he's staring right at that one face-up card there.
All right, we took the 1. We're going to 5.
Taking the 1, Vortex trigger, go to 4, Shouldered trigger, go to 2.
Oh no, Adam, are you going to die to your own Vortex this game?
I think it's very likely. Play with fire.
Oh, we're going back to that. We're going back to that upkeep. Going back to that upkeep.
Easy bin. That's a land. Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. Upkeep. Go to 4 from the Vortex. Draw this new fresh card. Yep.
Oh.
Light up the stage.
Oh, that's a really good card.
But no way to really push damage besides this Lava Dart.
That's a really good card. Oh,
Spike.
it's a lava spike.
Spike him will do it.
Spike.
Aspiring Lava Spike. That's great.
Thinking about drawing with the 1 ring here with the Lava Spike on the stack.
Well, what's interesting is you can force a lot of Adam's mana, because if you go to ring, you force him to have to do the can't gain life triggers.
Trigger Spectacle. Luke now at 8.
Yeah, we're about to light up the stage.
Ooh. Ooh, that does not draw cards. It exiles.
A 1, a 2.
Wear Tear.
Wear Tear,
And
no
Boros
target.
Charm.
Boros Charm, no white mana. Luke ate all of our white mana, and Adam is scooping it up. These cards are not it. Luke's going to start assembling this life gain combination.
All right, and we head to a game 3.
3.
This time with Adam on the play.
So we can see, looks like, so this is a very interesting part of Magic. I think like maybe the like highest level is sideboarding differently on the play and when you're on the draw. And it looked like Adam went back to a couple more of those like anemic just bolt variants that were boarded out. And looks like we might have tried to bring them in, possibly over those wear tears. Just understanding that when we are on the play and we are the aggressor, we want to push. And you don't want to be trying to like put through the last 3 points of damage and draw and knock you a sideboard card. You want to draw a bolt.
Yeah, very good point there. Luke looks like he didn't change his deck list at all. Worked pretty well for him last time. Just got to draw well, I think. I think that was his biggest issue in game 1.
And that's that Carnboard classic, right? Is so many of the other sideboard cards are so specific and targeted that if you want them in a match, you want them on the play and the draw, and the rest are all Carnboard cards. So it's usually very easy to be like very minimal changes between your game 2s and your game 3s.
Indeed, indeed.
And I think Adam's deck here, there are a lot of decks that I feel in Magic, their goal is to win tons of game 1s, right? Like Burn just wants to win game 1. Living End just wants to like win game 1. And then games 2 and 3, game 2 is for you to learn what hate's out there, what your opponent's kind of working with. And then game 3 is to be on the play again, understand what's going on, and bash face again.
Exactly.
I think there's so many decks that just want to like win game 1, learn game 2, and then crush game 3.
And I think that's the reason. I don't know if it's just an Adam thing or because of that, Adam keeps track of it, but he keeps track of the die rolls that he wins. And I saw this tweet where he just had he said he lost 12 dice rolls in a row or something insane.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That's kind of the luck of the Flex Lot boys. we don't win die rolls.
What if you just play each other then? Someone gets to win.
That's the worst scenario. I can't believe you would bring that up.
That never happens.
Happens all the time.
It happens so often, dude. It's so bad.
My favorite part about the NRG series is homies.
Yeah.
And my least favorite part is the more friends you have, the more likely you are to play against them.
Very good point. Yeah. I have definitely seen some Flex Out jerseys sitting across from each other.
Including at the team event?
Yeah.
Yo, there's this sick moment right before they concede where they both, put the logo of their jerseys out before the match ends.
That's very cute.
It looked pretty good before Flexon went on to win the whole team event.
They did. Flexa had a great weekend. I've played a teammate in the last 4 NRG events. There you go.
Yeah.
Brickman is a magnet for the teammates.
Yeah. Homie kills, as we call them.
Yeah.
Team kills. Yeah, House got the right idea. House got the right idea. As a very, I would say, kind of important for Adam here is every single mulligan Luke takes.
Sure.
Just being ever so slightly a card lower, ever so slightly a resource less. When the burn has 7 and they're just slowly having less pieces, you feel it in your bones. the win percentage going up just ever so slightly. I know it doesn't matter that much when you mold to 6 when you're on the draw. This is now mold to 5 being on the draw. Just less cardboard gets so much harder.
I said Luke's key to winning is to draw well and
draw well. Just do good. Just draw good, do good.
I'm saying obviously playing well is important. La 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 la. Yes, Magic is a complex game, but he's mulling to 5 again. It's got to be disheartening, right? Luke's key to the games. Can we get some graphics drawn up, House, so that we can do
an interactive whiteboard on stream?
No, it's like the sports broadcasts, like the Hawks' keys to the game.
Yeah. Or could we get what is it, behind the tape when they have fighters and you have like all their stats?
There you go. Yes, I want to.
Magic can have so much more fun.
I want to jockify Magic the Gathering.
House has got the right idea.
Sporty.
We need to get pucks
Get
deep.
pucks.
By that we mean put coffers into play. And Luke's hand.
Oh no! Luke.
The 4?
He's going to 4.
All right. We're looking for land.
Luke's keys to the game: lands and spells.
2 lands, 2 kill spells.
Yes.
I want 2 lands. I want 2 kill spells.
Shoulder's Edict, Urborg.
March of Wretched Sorrows.
Field of Ruin.
Get the field out of here. This man has got to be good.
Yeah.
The Urborg helps.
Urborg
helps.
Urborg's fine.
Urborg.
There you go. Urborg.
If you could just Urmagerd Urborg and then like 2 kill spells. You got this, dude.
Just like okay. Oh, I see
Swamp, Karn, Field, maybe a Fatal Push. A push would be very good. I hope that is a push for you, Luke. And
hope you push that card into play.
Yeah, if your 2 lands are Coffers, Urborg, that's a start. Okay, we're keeping this.
That's a start.
That's a start.
That's a start.
I played this deck back when it was bad, like 2 years ago, and there was one good start, and that's what it is. Luke, debating. I think we do have to put this Coffers back, right? Looks like one of the other cards in hand is Damnation.
Oh, I don't know if we're getting all the way up there.
That's 4 turns from now. We put 2 of these back. We get 1 more of these. Luke, I think it's your Damnation. Luke, I don't think
Damnation's gotta go under.
You're not getting the 4.
Keep that card.
Oh, there's a card hiding on the edge. Might be a Bowmaster. That Bowmaster would be really helpful.
Bowmaster would be fine.
Picks off a DRC, blocks.
It would be so
fine.
Okay.
So it'd be okay.
It would be a card.
It would be just fine.
Yeah.
Okay. We kept the shielder. Okay.
He's keeping on.
Hey, Luke. It's okay, Luke. It's okay, Luke.
Luke, we're here for you.
Hey, that shielder is better than the Damnation.
Adam's about to kill him so dead.
Okay, Adam. Don't look at me like that.
On the play. Here we go.
Mountain. Spike. Okay. Whoa. This is not a creature. This is not at least. It's not Swiftspear. It's not DRC. Those starts are way harder for Luke to beat. It being an actual burn spell. A burn spell does 3. A DRC does 9 or whatever.
He kept 3 lands and a Sholdred.
And this Thoughtseize.
Junji Ito, Thoughtseize.
We got to take Boros You just can't take 4 damage because this Thoughtseize you're already taking 2. You've reduced this Boros Charm to only doing 2 damage, right? It would have dealt 4. You took 2, so it's an overall 2.
There's the Dragon's Rage Channeler.
This DRC is gonna push. Because we took the Boros Charm, that's already instant sorcery. This fetch land is our 3rd type. And we are going to be able to surveil at least twice, possibly thrice if we're really trying to dig deep with this lava.
Yeah, you think he's going to go... He has to do a tap or an untapped source. So it's just the play with fire. And you're saying back on his turn when he untaps. Yep. I thought you were saying fetch for Surveillant too. I was like, that's a little too much.
Yeah, I'm talking this play with fire. We're gonna scry and surveil. We're gonna surveil off our DRC, and then we're gonna scry from the play with fire. Then we have access to flashback dart if we really want to dig as deep as we can.
Right. I don't think Adam is in a situation where you're digging that deep.
You want to turn your DRC into a 3/3, not a 1/1.
Oh, I see. That's what we're digging for.
Yeah, we need to make this thing a bolt. Because
now you grab the Surveil land? No?
Because we're going to
we
get
got
Rolling
the
Vortex.
Just play out everything.
And if we can just spike the the flip off the Surveil from playing the Vortex.
Oh, what are Luke's best draws? Let's look at the other side of the board here.
Right now?
Shouldered Edict?
Any card that kills this DRC.
Yeah.
Because Adam is out of gas.
Adam?
We need to kill this thing. That's it. That's Delirium.
That's Delirium. That's 3 damage.
Okay, this is so important because this DRC has been upgraded from a 1/1 to a bolt every single turn. This is why the creatures of Burn are so important, is when you get them really powered up, they become a bolt every turn, not just one bolt. So it's different with your Goblin Guides, your Swift Spears. DRC, this is a bolt. This is just 3 damage over and over and over.
Back on Adam's turn, we'll take a damage off the Roiling Vortex upkeep trigger.
Yeah, this is we were talking in the last round about the Protect the Queen strategy. Adam is full on this. This is DRC. We need this plus Pay with Fire. That's 5 damage this turn. We need to get together 5 damage for next turn.
Ooh, Skewer. See what Adam hits off the top here.
To get that Swifty out of here. Get that out of here. You already attacked this turn. Get it out of here.
First, the Surveil trigger from DRC. We'll now hit a Monastery Swift Spear and...
Adam is smarter than me. So this Monastery Swift Spear is Shieldred's Edict Insurance. You can lose the Swifty and keep your 3/3.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
I'm on it.
I dig it.
I got this.
I dig it.
Now, Luke, I believe we were untapping. We were playing our Coffers. Our Coffers is -1 mana. Ugh.
Oh boy. Blockers, that's huge. That's huge. Because I was going to say, I don't think you play a Shieldred next turn and live.
The issue is our Coffers doesn't net mana, so we can't play the Shieldred. We have 2 regular swamps, which means we'd pay 3 and make 2. So it's -1 on the Coffers, not net 0. And that's the game.
And that's it. Oh, goodness. Luke just forced to keep.
Moments away, cards away.
Forced to keep a not great hand, multi 4 there. Adam with a pretty good hand, gotta say, for Burn kept a full 7. Lots of great magic from both of our players there. Adam will advance to 2-0. Our backup match is also done. So if you're looking for any of the cards that you've seen on feature tonight or any one of the other thousands of cards we have in stock, head to nerdragegaming.com. Here's an example of some of the cards that you can buy there. Lovely Legacy, Modern, Pioneer, Standard, Commander, Vintage, Pauper, Oathbreakers, Canadian Highlander. I think that's plenty. That's plenty.
That's plenty. Sorry, that's plenty.
Tiny Leaders doesn't make the cut. So sorry. Judge's Tower, sure.
Judge's
Tower on
Party
there.
Box.
Party Box, Battle Box.
Battle Box.
Yes.
Tubert.
All of those and more at nerdragegaming.com. If you're looking for a card and we for some reason don't have it, add it to your wish list. Dom, what's on your wish list right now?
Right now it is Extended Art Roxanne's, Extended Art Bonnie Paul's, and the full art Thoughtseize with the puzzle piece.
If you have some of those in your collection, you can also sell them on nerdragegaming.com. Send us a
those
list
ones
of the cards that you have, and we will send you an offer right to your email. With that being said, though, we're going to head into a quick break. We'll be right back.
See y'all soon.
Welcome back, folks. We're in round 3 of 4 here for Wednesday Night Modern. We got Rich and Harrison in the building. Combo Slime against Humanity. Dice Factory versus Ponza Land Destruction.
Yeah, we about to have a different time.
We're about to have a very different game than the previous matches we've seen.
Here we go. We're about to mulligan on screen. Theorem Vision, number 1.
Yes, I don't know any...
Yeah, can we pull up Serum Vision? This is going to be very important for full understanding. Okay, yeah, sorry. Serum Powder, very, very important.
Serum Powder.
Not the bad cantrip that we were all forced to play for years. This is the powder. Basically, it lets you mulligan within your mulligans.
Harrison is in shock. What does this mean?
Anytime you would mulligan and Serum Powder is in your hand, you may exile all those cards from your hand, then draw them any cards. So the green die you see from Richard, that's the slime count.
Mm-hmm.
So this Serum Powder is happening on Richard's Molda 7.
Mm-hmm.
This one is also happening on Richard's Molda 7. What Richard gets to do is we get to draw a new 7 still.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there are 7 Slimes against Humanity currently in the Exile Slime Zone. And if Richard then draws this 7 and doesn't want it, Richard's going to mulligan down to 6 now.
Okay.
Those mulligans were serum powder mulligans. So now this is Richard's true mulligan to 6. What's very fun is you're going to learn the absolute minutia of Magic mulligans. Remember, it was the hot topic on Twitter a few months ago that you actually put the card on the bottom and then choose to keep or not keep it.
Okay.
So what Richard's going to have to do is put a card on the bottom, look at their 6, and then serum powder that 6 away.
Oh,
and
okay.
then so on and so forth if we get to like a 5 or a 4. So it was really big for Richard to hit the powders on the 7s because those were the ones that dug the farthest. And there are currently, 14 cards, including 7 slimes in exile. And now Richard is drawing his mulligan to 6.
Got it. Yes. I think we need to bring Harrison in the booth with us to explain to him what's going on too, because he's displaying the confusion I'm feeling right now.
Right, because a game is happening right now, and it's not the game of Magic yet.
Yes, we haven't even started. There's no lands and plays. We are still in the mulligan
This is
stage.
mulliganing.
And that's why I said you guys can resolve your initial mulligans. And Rich said,
Yeah, Richard does them on screen. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah, Dakota and I went through that. As you can see, Richard putting those cards to the bottom, keeping their hand, and now powdering.
Now he has to powder.
Because he's resolved his initial mulligan.
He did put 2 on the bottom. I saw him do it. I don't think it matters.
So very importantly, you
him
can
to.
see face up here in that pile. Richard is playing Surgical Extraction to Surgical himself to take a bunch of slimes away so that when you cast your slime, that's even bigger. Because you are in control of the Surgical, you get to choose how many you take away.
Oh, you don't have to take all of them?
You don't have to take them all.
Oh.
You can take any number. So what Richard can do is like leave 3 in their hand and then take like 6 out of the deck.
Okay.
So a game has begun. Richard is a forest in play. Harrison is using our fetch land. Those green dice, the slime count in exile is 11. Slime Against Humanity, when you cast it, looks for slimes in graveyard, in exile, +2.
Okay.
So the first slime we cast will be a 13/13.
Okay.
That's the whole plan. Harrison, thankfully, might have an incredible matchup because we're going to try to not let Richard get to 3 mana.
Exactly.
And you have to remember, Richard did all these mulligans, all these cards in exile. We, some of the folks in the back here, said that Richard has kind of a loose mana base, not the most amount of lands, right? Because he's just trying to hit 3 and slam slimes. Well, you can't do that if Harrison starts taking them away.
For sure, yeah, that is the whole strategy of the Ponza nicknamed deck there that Harrison's rocking. Stone Rain effects, land destruction. He wants to keep you low on resources.
The Harrison here playing this Ponza deck, it's kind of in the, like how Death and Taxes, we all know is like, that means this white base Hate Bears deck. Ponza is the secret tech for meaning I'm playing red-green based land destruction.
There you go, yes.
And Harrison here tapping 3. That's usually the namesake card. This is a pillage.
Sure.
Destroy target land or artifact. It can't be regenerated. Hey, that's fine. Take care of this forest.
Land off the top, though. That's pretty strong.
So Richard, like we said, his entire plan is get to the 3rd land and slam a 13/13.
Yes.
And Harrison's plan is this. Target your land, destroy it.
Okay, I think we're going to see a bit of a back and forth.
Hey, Richard, this is... Okay, you're doing
it.
Richard's chuckling. Richard's chuckling.
He's going to get there. He's going to try his hardest. Harrison's going to do his darndest to stop him.
Richard truly is living a dream out there of just like, this is joy. This is like what Magic used, just like this is how it felt when you first started playing Magic. You're like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yes, absolutely. No, I'm feeling some of that right now. I'm like, this seems sick. I like this.
Harrison playing an Arbor Elf. Arbor Elf played in this deck to play alongside the Utopia Sprawl we see on the forest. Allows you to like really speed up your mana because Arbor Elf untaps a forest. Utopia Sprawl has to go on a forest. So that forest taps for 2. You untap with your Arbor Elf and you make 4 from your 2 permanents there. Richard kind of having his own plan to accelerate his mana while taking away yours to really, really make that difference.
Exactly. His life total also creeping towards a single swing with Richard's
One slime. You're getting close to single slime digits.
13's the magic number because it's 11 plus 2 currently.
And what's important is if Richard casts a slime makes a 13-13, well, the next one's a 14-14, then a 15-15. They don't get smaller. They're just going to get bigger.
No, I think one or two should probably get the job done here. I don't think Harrison's got too much to deal with.
I think Harrison has
in
a
red and
lightning bolt in
green,
hand.
I was gonna say
not going to hit a slime.
No true kill spells, just damage spells.
That's a Magus of the Moon.
That
We got two basic force. We got two basic force. But no third land. We drew a slime. We're passing it back.
Okay.
Oh, and Richard does. There are 2 breaking news cards in Richard's deck, which kind of lets our caster vision get turned off. One is surgical extraction.
Yeah.
The other is fling. Oh. One is to throw the slime.
Oh my gosh, fling is my favorite card. I tucked some aside on my desk just earlier.
Oh, Richard's got it.
Because fling is in so many sets. It's a very printed card, and it's one of my favorites.
Glory Bringer. Here to bring the glory.
Yeah.
The same thing, though. Glory Bringer can attack and deal 4 damage to something. What if my slime's a 13-13?
Yeah. I think Harrison's going to try and get through as many combat steps as he can before a slime can do the same. There's Glory Bringer.
Yeah.
Standard banger back in the day.
The thing is, I think
Glory Banger.
Yes. Richard's clock is a little slow here because we need to find a third land, play our slime, untap through a turn cycle to attack with that slime. That slime won't be lethal, but Harrison does have 4, 5, 6 power in play. If we use the Arbor Elf, 7, and that's exactly a 2-turn clock on Richard.
There you go. There's the math of it all.
That's the math of it all. That's the math of it all. And Harrison has this little mountain. We think maybe he's got a bolt, in his green-red deck.
Sure.
Doesn't kill a slime. Does kill Richard.
Rich is staring at a whole hand of cards.
And he did top deck 2 lands earlier.
He did. He hit the cards he needed to, but Harrison had 2 Stone Rains for him.
Yeah. Richard's top of the deck was kind, but it's kind of run out.
Yeah, it can only do so much for you.
Harrison, we see with this big mana generation, making 4 mana from that forest, 2 and then 2 again with the Arbor Elf, 2 more. We're looking at 6 mana, Harrison. Oh,
thinking.
Looking above for help. Glory Bringer number 2. This way we don't have to crack our fetch land just yet.
There you go.
Getting in there for 4, 8, 10.
Damage. A lot of damage. Ooh,
Bolt.
does he have a buff spell?
I think
Is it Glory Bringer? Is it any target? There's no way.
Glory Bringer is not.
Okay.
Richard is at 4. Harrison's got this bolt.
Put him to 1.
Put you to 1. Richard's going to untap, play a forest, play a giant slime, concede. Yep, there it is.
Okay.
We didn't even get to do the sliming. So if you're Harrison, you saw this wild mulliganing. You did your plan for 2 turns. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
You won the game. Now you're going to sideboarding. Who knows?
Now we're about to go and see just about the wildest deck list I think we've ever had on the stream here.
It's so good. Starts with 4 surgical, 4 fling. All right, now we got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 29, 30 slimes.
30.
4 Utopia Sprawls for Rich as well. 4 Serum Powder. And 4, 8, 12, 13, 14 lands. As we were saying,
14 lands.
The mana do be loose.
It's very... Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Sideboard.
Sideboard consists of Giganthan the Companion Spot, Tassiger the Golden Fang, Heroic Intervention, Ram Through, Force of Vigor, Ground Seal, Mirror of Fate. What do these cards do?
That's a great question.
I don't know what any of these cards... Do we have a card preview in the... No,
it's okay.
Not in the screen. Okay.
I was in favor of Richard sideboarding these Tassigers. He doesn't have any black mana to cast his Tassigers.
I was going to ask that. How does he...
But they
Utopia Sprawl?
They will be good if we can make black mana for Utopia Sprawls. The Heroic Intervention is for if you're playing against like Supreme Verdict or something and we want to save our creatures. Ram Through is a fight spell that if the creature has trample, they take the trample damage from the fight. Guess what these slimes have?
A lot of power.
I think they have trample.
Wait, just naturally?
Yeah. It's an 0/0 with trample. The slimes, huge. So the ram throughs would allow us to kill a creature and then trample the rest through. It's kind of like a kill spell plus fling combo. Force of Vigor, we know Force of Vigor. Ground Seal, ETB, draw a card. Cards in graveyards can't be the target of ability or of spells or abilities. Turns off Goryo's Vengeance and the likes.
And then Mirror of Fate.
would stop Surgical, so if someone's trying to stop him, he can stop them right back. And Mirror of Fate, I couldn't tell you.
Oh, let's see. It's at the very bottom of the sideboard there.
Oh, yeah, give it a sacrifice.
Sacrifice Mirror of Fate. Choose up to 7 face-up exiled cards you own. Exile all the cards from your library and put the chosen cards on top of your library.
So we can turn our library into just being like
a stack
4
of
slimes.
slimes.
We just turn into a stack of slimes. Not something that I want here. If I was Richard, all I would want is like 3 forests in my sideboard. I wish I could just bring in some more lands because they about to get LD'd.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I guess if you're Richard, you may bring in these ram throughs just to be under the assumption it's like, I just died to some glory bringers and stuff that I might need my slimes to like fight and then hit again. Because if you ram through, deal a bunch of damage, and then actually attack with your trampler, that might just be, the 1-turn punch you need.
Yeah, because Ponza's game plan is still to kill you with combat damage.
Yep, they kind of just put together some really just any creatures they possibly have alongside you having nothing. So that might just be enough time. Richard gets to be on the play. We have our own Utopia Sprawls. We might be able to put together 3 mana. But I might also board out these Utopia Sprawls because if they Stone Rain the forest and I lose my Sprawl and my forest, I'm going to feel hurt.
Interesting stuff. All right, let's take a look at a Ponza deck list as well. Is there not even one on Goldfish?
They got Stone Rain, they got Pillage, they got green cards, they got red cards. I think a card that could be fine would be like Endurance if you had them, but that doesn't even matter that much because the slimes you care about are already in exile. You might have some random artifacts because you're a green-red sideboard. I could easily imagine 2 same 60s.
Yeah.
Just not knowing what's going on, not having cards in your sideboard. Just the 2 ships passing in the night, but just straight up, no sideboard, no change, just run it back.
Yeah, not too much interaction there aside from the land destruction that Harrison was doing. We'll head back down to the action here, though. As players shuffle up, Rich will be on the play once again.
And we get to watch Richard's sideboard face up. Or I'm not sideboard, Mulligan.
Yeah.
Harrison's just going to look at cards. What's really funny is as Richard's going through his mulligans, technically on the biggest sense, if Harrison took mulligans, you have to wait for Richard to take all of his mulligans to then take his again before Richard took all of his.
Yes.
But Richard looks to be taking a fast 6 here. Harrison doing a little peek. That's the telltale sign of I'm also mulliganing.
It better be.
Right. I usually draw my hand and then take a look at the top 2 or 3 just to make sure I want it.
Yeah, this is my first game of Magic ever. You should let me do
peek.
it.
Let me peek.
Let me look, man.
So Richard presenting up for the mulligan down to 6.
That's what I'm going to tell people when I sit down across
Let me
from them
look.
on Friday.
Please, can I...
This is my first game of Magic ever.
This is my big event. Can I please take a look? Can I look at your top card?
Hey, what are you playing?
Or, did you ever play... When I first started playing Magic, we decided who was going first by revealing the bottom card and the highest mana value went first.
Oh, of course. Yeah, all
Can
the
you
time.
imagine? You offer that at the RC? Okay, reveal bottom card?
That would hurt me more than hurt them.
Yeah, but
I need those percentage points of people not knowing what Merfolk is.
In an LCQ, I get to see what they're playing.
That's fair.
You show me Riverglide Pathway, you Phoenix. I see you.
Wrong format.
Oh, standard.
Yeah.
You show me a Riverglide Pathway.
I say DQ.
You're DQ'd. You're
I
gone.
say, sir.
That's even easier. Richard here, you can see a die. The green die, that's a slime die. Slime die 2. We took a Serum Vision on our 6, and now we're going down to our 5. Harrison, I see a sideboard card here in Clothis, the God of Destiny.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Been a classic out of these green-red style strats.
Speaking of Pioneer, that's a fun card in Pioneer. Niv to
Niv deck, yeah. Of just a card you can put in play that generates kind of the greeniest, readiest value, right? Of you can either get mana or a little bit of damage. Kind of does a Keranos impression for 2 mana cheaper.
God of Destiny.
Yeah,
the destiny of killing you.
Because
dead.
I believe Clothis, the God of Destiny, was sleeping or exiled while Xenagos ascended to being the green-red god. And then Clothis came back after the
I am inevitable.
Yeah, after the deiciding of Xenagos to kill a god.
Yes.
Richard here taking a Serum Powder on his 5, slime count 4.
Okay, down to a mult of 5. Technically, though he's looked at a few more hands. Oh, down to 4.
Yep. But the hand, I mean...
Doesn't need to be too much.
Land, slime?
I was going to say, keep an all-land hand.
Yeah, your whole deck is slime.
I would keep 4...
4 land? That's actually really smart. I'm with you.
I would keep 4 forests. every day.
Richard, show me 4 forest. Actually, you know what? 1 stomping ground, 3 forest.
Sure, yeah, we'll take that.
We gotta
if we're ready in Magical Christmas Land or whatever it's called.
In the words of Prophet, ain't no thing if it ain't got that fling. So it's very important for Richard. A part of our plan might be to push fast. So you can see Richard mulligans and then mulligans through the powder. So the only cards you kind of keep not on the bottom are the slimes. So you can exile those. And now Richard's drawing into his new 4. Wild. Just wild. We've kept in stomping ground.
Shocks, what's he playing?
This is Sprawl. This is the turn 2 slime. This is a turn 2 9/9.
Oh boy, Harrison does not have land destruction that's that fast.
Doesn't start this fast. You're right.
Man,
stomping ground of your own. Sweet. Take 2 damage.
Utopia Sprawl.
It don't matter.
Utopia Sprawl.
I'm about to make a 9/9, and by I mean
stomping
Richard.
ground into Utopia Sprawl. Let him cook.
Let him slime. Let him crime. Let him crime, let him slime, let him.
Oh man.
Let him cook.
Shock means 2 hits with a 9/9 slime. Oh,
Y'all
7 plus 2.
Literally, the shock does mean
shock.
that it's 9 and then 9 again.
Oh boy.
So what Harrison needs is to ramp here into a spell that can remove the slime.
I think he's looking at Utopia Sprawl versus a dork.
Well,
right.
Well. You want to do the dork first if it's an Arbor Elf so that you can then Arbor Elf the Utopia land the following turn.
I was thinking just like mana acceleration versus blocking,
Yeah.
The Arbor Elf will just eventually block a 9/9.
I really truly want to be unbiased, but this rules.
Does he not have the second land? Oh my gosh! Oh
and
no, I saw it coming.
Yeah, and I think Richard's draw pattern was the Serum Powder.
Oh boy.
Fun fact: Serum Powder
does it make mana?
It's a 3-mana rock.
Okay.
But
once we're at 3 mana though, yeah.
I think it might be a 4-mana rock.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But
Harrison's got the chance. He's got the Arbor plus the Sprawl.
So Harrison can make 4 mana this turn.
Oh my gosh! If he just cleansing, if he just
it's gonna hurt.
If he just kills his 1 land here, that's just a scoop. That's just an immediate scoop, right?
I said the Sprawls were gonna hurt. Harrison, it's time. You don't show up with Ponza to not do it to him.
I was gonna say, what's he cooking on? What's he sitting on?
If I was Richard,
does he?
If you Stone Rain this Utopia Sprawl, I will leave and go get dinner right here, right now.
Okay. 4 mana.
That's it. That's the
4 mana.
Oh, that's okay. I do a little flick of my hand when I pass. I thought Harrison was like preparing for the motion. I was like, no way.
Utopia Sprawl, you name the color as it comes in, right?
Yep.
I assume it's on green.
Might be on red.
Is there ever? Because I heard Bryce talking over there about having a blood moon.
Yeah, so we're going to sprawl this up before we untap so that it nets. It'll make a total of 4, but we're set up for future turns.
Okay.
But if Harrison plays any of his moon effects, this card will no longer be a forest, and all the Utopia Sprawls will fall off.
Oh, I always forget about that line.
Yep. Okay. Because Utopia Sprawl can only enchant a forest, and it's like always checking that like you meet criteria. So don't make yourself unmake criteria, because Richard's Utopia Sprawl is probably definitely on green.
Okay. Well,
it's Clothis.
Clothis.
All right, Richard, you've got a chance. You've got a turn to draw a land, slam a slime.
Oh my goodness! It has to be a land.
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 Does Harrison just not have a land destruction in hand?
Either that or we're not afraid.
It's not a land. Oh, it's not a land. Afraid of what?
I don't of the 9/9. I would be. I know I am. I'm afraid over here.
What's the Clothis do against the 9/9?
Nothing. I agree with you. I agree. Nothing.
Oh, Richard! Oh, he's so close to greatness.
That's so funny.
He's so close. I just want to see it happen, man. I don't care if he wins or not.
Sorry.
I just want to see the slime hit the table.
When Dakota and I saw it, we even used the Kyle Gonzalez tokens. We made some big plans.
I was about to ask, does he have a slime token, or do people just scoop, or like what happens?
Oh yeah, we saw him in play.
Sick.
Harrison making 6 mana here. Bang.
Glory.
You know, Iggy.
Okay.
Is it awake? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is not awake, but the Glorybringer attacks are 5.
It does exalted.
Oh wait, we do the Utopia Sprawls. This Clothis is awake.
Not exalted?
That's what it does at Rumbles. We found its plan.
Oh, I'm so tense.
And if we make a 9/9 ooze, the god is indestructible, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's not a It's not
Yep. All right.
Oh my gosh.
The production team, the folks in the booth here, they're hanging their heads. We're gonna help Richard fix this.
We're gonna make
Stormy B.
What is that?
That's Storm Breath Dragon, baby. That's your dead.
That's a big old hasty.
That's Donk. That's Dunzo. That's like
that's lethal?
12 damage.
Oh man.
Dunzo, Storm Breath, Flying, Haze, Pro, White, big monsters, blow 'em up. This card rules. Richard, we wish you nothing but the best. We will help you. We're going to make this deck the best that it can be. But mana woes, this matchup cannot be good, cannot be easy. Ponza taking down 2-0, and as our backup in the middle of a shuffle?
Oh, you'll love to see it.
Talk to me. Is this the record? We 1-0 right now? Brian Tepper doing what Brian does best, taking half the clock and winning game number 1. 4-color control versus John on our left side playing scam. This is the Rakdos variant. We're going to get the cup out of the way, not brought to you by anybody but John. We're going to maybe get everything just set up just right. We're going to get the little sip skidee out of the way. Oh, we moved it more in the way. Moved it out of the way. Perfect. Now, players, like I said, just getting ready. Game number 2. Then I imagine John will be on the play. We're ready to rock and roll. This matchup has to be easily defined by John's first few turns of the game. I mean, that's how Scam is.
Scam works very quickly.
Brian on the hunt, most likely for a Solitude and or Subtlety hand that actually has lands. You just got to interact with that Griefy.
You just need beans.
That card's banned.
No, you just need beans.
That card's banned.
Exactly, that's why we need it.
Oh. Uh-oh, Johnny boy.
Oh, he's so upset. What happened?
Something has happened.
He looked at 7 cards and he's shook.
We're having a moment.
Happened?
We're having a moment.
Oh. Turn off the camera. He needs a second. Is it like so close? Is there no land?
I do see, it looks like 0 to me.
Is that no land?
But I see the rags. No, Ragster Marsh Flat.
Oh.
Okay, this hand looks like gas. No, this is gas. This is gas Olean, and we mulliganed it.
Both mulliganing to 6.
That was like Land Ragavan 2 Dothy's Fable.
Yeah.
I'm a keep.
That sounds like a good hand to me.
It's hard because you're on the 1-lander against like 4-color nonsense from Brian Tepper.
Yeah, if he interacts with the Ragavan at all, he's sad.
You playing Scam. Like
Yeah.
that hand. That's what you came here to do. You came here to do stuff like that.
That does do everything that you want to do.
Except the Big Mac Daddy, the little A plus B, little Grief Skidee. So I bet that's why we're going to 6, because it's free. Just if your 7 ain't doing it, go to 6.
For sure. While they shuffle up, though, folks, should we remind you about the Nerd Rage Gaming Series? There's a lot of competitive magic going on in the Midwest, and we're the best place to do it, and here's all the places you can do it.
It's coming soon.
St. Louis is our last event in Season 1, and that is all of Season 2. Oh, no, there we go.
This is the
Season 1 slide.
St. Louis down there in the bottom right.
Easy
Pio
peasy.
Saturday, Modern Sunday.
Lots of ways to qualify. We're also giving away an increased amount of invitations now that Star City Games is the new TO for regional championships. So
we're loving it.
There are so many people going to the regional championships from Nerd Rage Gaming, and we are back down to the action. I'll be going down to RC Dallas this weekend. If you need cards, hit me up on Twitter. I'll get you there.
Soon.
Hit me up soon, please. I leave tomorrow night. I can get you cards from the website delivered to you in Dallas.
I had the same question. Chat's wondering. I also thought the Modern was the Saturday.
We'll
get that checked for y'all.
It was announced one way, and then it was switched to the other, and I don't remember which one is which.
The correct is on Melee.
The correct one is on Melee. There you go. That's the way to figure it out.
I do think
Saturday is always Modern.
Yeah, I think that's the old graphic.
That's the old graphic. We switched it to make Saturday Modern. That's correct. Thank you, chat.
Thank you very much. It's very important for other folks to see what's up, while John looks to be doing a grief, but not doing the thing.
Yes, just a single Thoughtseize
because it got Solitude by Brian. You can see the prismatic ending there, which then meant what's very I like about this is Brian can kind of assume, because John's shocked, that they have an Undying effect in hand.
Yeah.
What I would recommend, because it looks like John did off of Fetch Land, is have your Fetch Land, leave it uncracked, go for your grief thing. Look at their hand, get your information. Your trigger's still floating there. If you need to go for the Undying effect, go get your Blood Crypt, do the thing. If they interact like Brian did, go get Surveil Land.
Oh, okay.
So if you're doing the Grief Scam thing off a fetch land, there is value that could be left on the table that it's worthwhile to leave it uncracked until the last moment.
All good stuff there. So we'll go back to John. That's the great thing about watching your matches back too on camera. You get to
I'm here to
learn
help.
little tidbits of knowledge like that. I know a
Brian.
lot of our players like to look back at the VODs and see how their matches went.
Yeah. Hello, John. Hey, Brian. Hope you guys are watching back. Enjoy it. Brian, with this, the only remaining card info known, this face-up counterspell, just awesome. I just love that a counterspell is just like, it's sitting there, right? Like, looming over the game, like, I know I have it, you know I have it.
Tidebinder seems really good against a bunch of things with triggered abilities.
Oh, Brian have a Tidebinder? Is he just sit and wait for that?
He's got a lot. Doesn't want to Tidebinder the Bowmaster, which I feel like I agree with.
I want to hit the...
I want to hit something good.
Yeah, give me something big. Give me a Fable to hit with it.
I was about to say, Fable seems great.
Oh.
Thoughtseize, though, maybe makes you punish there unless we just counter
Yeah,
it.
just hit the counterspell button?
No.
Yeah, just...
But now you can't Tidebinder. But that's potentially okay.
Yep.
Down to 15
John, do you
off
have
a
a Fable?
crash with the
John, slam
Bowmaster.
it. Absolutely. Absolutely slam that Fable.
Tragic. Oh, tragic. Very well sequenced there.
Yeah, go work, John. Great deck. Fable be fabling.
I like doing the Thoughtseize main phase 1 too, because then Tepper could have... I don't think Tepper would have, but he could have used the Tishana's Tiebinder as a blocker and taken off something there.
Right? We all kind of learned the heuristic a while ago of like going to combat and like leaving important things for main phase 2. But Thoughtseize is a great thing to do main phase 1 to make sure the way is clear. So yeah, I love the sequencing. I'm with you there. Leyline Binding coming on down. I think we gotta hit that Fable. We can beat the leftovers here. We cannot let John get new cards.
Okay. I was about to ask, because I feel like hitting the token seems pretty fine.
But John's got one card left, and if that card's bad, like we can't let them cycle through on this Fable, right? We can't let them get the good cards. You know, the 4-color deck job is 4-color have the good cards, right? So you can't let Scam also have good cards. You won't be able to keep up because there's minimal pressure in play.
For sure.
Because like Brian here could just like slam a Solitude, and it single-handedly can clean up this whole board. That John's drawing lands, and that's kind of where we need to be. That top card being Shieldra that we're scrying right now, surveilling with this Raucous Theater.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to leave it there. It's like I think one of your better draws at this point. But this anemic attack for 4, make it a treasure. Yep. Shout out, Prof.
What is that?
It's when they did the big Kickstarter for the academic, they made like cool tokens.
Yeah, what's the token?
That's the treasure for the.
Oh, it's a treasure. Oh, because we have the Goblin Shaman still.
Yep.
I see. A lot of game pieces on the board there. Excuse me.
Yep. As we see these beautiful.
Very
artistic. I forget the artist
Yeah.
that John has. I can't remember if they're like Argyle or Aaron Miller. I know it's someone from the recent larger Magic events. I love when artists sell tokens. It's a cool way for them to recoup things as Supreme Verdict here to clean it up. This is what I'm talking about. Like, we just can't let
Not that
John have
after
this
all,
board.
there you go. That's
Sure.
been sitting there since turn 1.
Right. So, even
Get the
Brian,
Bowmaster back and the token.
I even lost track. I hope Brian didn't, because John tried to go for that Grief Scheme on turn 1. If you were tracking cards, you knew that John's last card was an Undying effect.
Yeah.
And you're like, great. That means your whole hand was like nothing burgers. So we can kind of start trying to clear this up with cards like these verdicts.
Pretty good recovery there, though, with the not dead after all. And a Shieldred off the top.
Yeah, we knew the Shieldred was there. That was off the Raucous Theater.
Sheesh. Tidebinder, the Shieldred. Wow.
So what Brian did here is he drew. Shieldred triggers off draw and then snapped in the Tidebinder to hit the draw trigger.
I do the same exact play
Right
in,
off the
in
top?
standard
Right
right
off the
now.
top?
Yep.
Pop it right in.
Sometimes you draw the Tidebinder as the draw for turn. Ooh, still works.
That's what happened. Brian did it. He
had the Tidebinder in his hand already.
Oh, that's right. You saw it.
Yeah.
Though. You saw it. You saw it. You saw it.
Yeah.
Now this Tidebinder can eat up the Bowmaster if you want, but
And then you deal with the same thing that I deal with, which is a 4/5 body that just continues to turn sideways.
we're trading with this Ragavan here.
Whoa. Okay. Wow.
Another verdict? Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we got to experience this game. Very importantly for Brian, going to game number 3 here, is that you will be on the play, not your scam opponent. You will, which means you're going to have access to hold up cards like Stern Scolding or whatnot and really try to fight back. John, you're looking to keep as many cards as possible and get those good hands.
All right, we'll take a look at Brian's deck list here. He's got a 61 card main board, and in his sideboard is Endurance, Ashiok Dream Render, Pick Your Poison, Stern Scolding, Engineered Explosives, Pithy Needle, and Dress Down.
A very interesting thing I know we're going to touch on the sideboard. Brian's deck is incredibly close to a Kahira companion, but chose very actively to play these main deck Tishana's Tidebinders instead of having access to that free card to pitch away to cards like your Solitudes. Always interesting to kind of think about with this general like 4-color controlling nonsense stuff on if you do or don't want that sideboard card.
Kahira's the... Oh, I see, right. It's the Elemental one.
Yep.
I was thinking it was the double pip one.
All
That's
good,
why
it's
you
all
mentioned the Tidebinder,
Yeah,
right?
because the Tidebinder is very actively chosen to be in this deck, be in this main deck.
It's very strong.
Turn that off for ourselves.
Yeah, in the sideboard, though, I'm liking stuff that shuts down what John is trying to do. Obviously, dress downs take care of scam effects.
Dress down
Endurance takes care of undying effects.
And the Stern Scoldings.
And the Stern Scoldings take care of the creature spell itself.
The dress downs will be able to use if it's a turn 2 onward scam. Sometimes you're like, oh, I'll play Ragavan on turn 1, so then turn 2 I can really get you. Those would be the dress down style games, but we're on the play in Brian's seat. So the Stern Scolding and the Endurances are cards that will come before the Grief Scam because you are on the play if you are Brian, so you'll have access to those.
All right, we'll get back down to the action here, though, with Brian back on the play for game 3 of round 3 of week 3.
Tepper does have the Stern Scolding. You see right there in the middle of their hand, the old man yelling, and we might even use it to hit this Ragavan. Because we have actual factual counterspell. So this turn we can cash in our Stern Scolding, and then we could have cashed in counterspell.
Nick declines to sternly scold the monkey.
No yelling at the monkey. Instead, using this to set up our mana base, right? We have triomes and such to look for.
Of course.
Got to get all set up.
It's a 4-color deck.
I am not a control mage, so the feel of like, oh, I can Stern Scolding this and hold up counterspell for turn 2 felt really enticing to me, but I'd probably lose on turn 10 to some other nonsense. The control mages are here to make sure it really happens. Like this perfect mana into turn 2 binding for the prismatic ending for the monkey.
I thought it was a ley line as well. But no, prismatic ending is a little more permanent.
Yeah, Brian went through all the effort to assemble perfect mana, so I was like, oh, we did this for the purpose of ley line binding. John here getting his mana set up. Very importantly, Brian now holding up Stern Scolding again, hitting a card like a Dothy, like a Grief, or like a Bowmaster. This card just hits all of the goodies out of these early turns of Scam.
Indeed, I think the only creature it doesn't hit would be Sheoldred.
Yes, Sheoldred, absolutely.
She's coming a little later,
right.
Potentially. We'll see.
And you can't yell at her. You can't sternly scold.
She'll yell back. I don't think she's just going to take that on the nose.
Yeah, she'll yell louder.
Her yells sound a little, spookier.
Scratchy, metallic.
Yeah. Ooh.
I would probably hate it.
All right, there's that Stern Scolding, like you said, hitting the Dothy Voidwalker. Back on Brian's turn.
And now, if Brian has our third mana source, we can hold up Counterspell proper now for the rest of the game.
Life totals even at 17 all here. Draw for turn for John will be a fetch.
And a Thought to Seize.
Start with that. See what you got going on over there, Brian. How much do you value the information?
Our Brian's hand might be good enough. I think there's also like a Leyline Binding.
If you have 2 good cards.
Yeah, if you have Counterspell and Binding, doesn't matter which one John picks.
Right.
I think it matters, I guess, in the case of Fable exactly. But you have 2 of these bindings.
Wow, what a great hand. Oh my goodness.
And this isn't a Fable turn, right? Because we were playing the Thoughtseize, next turn has to be the Fable turn, which are the cards that Binding is worse against. But we don't have to worry about that just yet. Instead, we're on this turn, this moment, and John kind of needs to take this Counterspell to just try to do something.
We'll take the Counterspell, leaving 2 Bindings and a Solitude with 3 lands in play.
John's hand is running out fast. So it's Grief, Ragavan, Molten Collapse, and I think maybe a Bowmaster. And it's like, oh, these are 4 cards, but their impact feels low.
I think you dash a Ragavan and grab something. Oh, no.
I think we're not dashing it because it would just get Leyline Binding, so John's at least maybe we're gonna go get our Raucous Theater here.
There you go. Yeah.
Understanding that this Ragavan is.
I like that. That's a much better play than committing all the rest of your mana to a binding target.
The Surveillance, I think, changed so much thoughts about like how to play out the mana of your turn that so many of your fetch lands can become something now.
Yeah. I was just thinking about being mana efficient. You're right. The math changes with the Surveillance.
Because it feels still mana efficient to turn your mana into a Surveillance. Like it kind of is like I'm using this one mana to do this thing, and then I can use my other for this.
There you go. Both players surveilling. Meticulous Archive for Brian and a Raucous Theater for John.
Yeah, have you heard the Surveillance just cast Consider every time?
Yeah.
But it just finds the land.
Sure.
It always just surveils one, puts a land into play.
Okay. I dig it.
That's kind of what they do.
Kind of. It's a bit of a stretch.
But it helps like conceptualize, like we were saying, kind of your mana efficiency. The fetching for that, just that's his job. Is I have this land.
Hard cast.
Get yelled at.
Ooh.
Get yelled at. Stern scolding.
Ooh. Full 4 mana to play the grief. Get out of here.
And I was going to say, Brian's kind of running out. We want to go runner land here because Brian wants to draw a land to start just developing towards this 5-drop in Solitude, a card that can really dominate this game.
Life Toll saying at 15 to 15 here with the fetch from the Flooded Strand. We'll find a Hedge Maze to surveil again. I think Brian is looking to hit a land.
I think that was a beautiful photo of Brian's wedding, but that's gone now. The event has left Brian's phone, it looks like.
Oh, my Lord. Companion app really, really showing.
Oh, yeah, Brian, get in that commander game real quick. We're doing a quick little swap skidee.
There we go. Yeah. That's the app I see more people use nowadays, honestly.
It looks gorgeous.
That's the one, Bryce, you use. What's it called? EDH Shield Mage?
That makes sense. The right side's got a shield as its little insignia. I thought the left side was the Urza Saga symbol.
It very much looks like it. Yeah, the 2 cogs.
The 2 cogs. They make an S, you see. That's how you know it's Urza
Do they
Saga.
really?
Well, that's how you know it's Urza Saga. Because you can make an S. I'll show you the trick for Urza block in a little bit.
I kind of just put it in my brain.
John here. Maybe I would say the better top deck they can have is this Fable. This card is the only one that can help them kind of like dig through what's going on here.
It's the perfect main mid-game card.
Yep. And Brian has to choose now. We could use both the cards in our hand to clean up both halves of this Fable, but then that's it. That's everything we have.
Exactly.
And you have to be worried about the 2 cards in John's hand.
You do not want to go down to nothing in your hand with your opponent still with resources.
Yeah, so the Fable resolving. We are, in fact, going to bind the Fable, leaving the 2/2 Goblin behind.
I think that's fine.
Because we can untap, play our Solitude, and then have the permanent in play after we've cleaned up here.
What'd you get? What is it?
I think Brian drew a Triumph.
That cycles.
It's a Ragavan.
It's a Raggy.
So this Solitude will now trade for the board state, because you can exile one of these and then block and trade with the other. The issue is John has 2 cards left, and if you're in Brian's seat that you got a land. You have a Triumph.
You have a 3-mana draw, right?
Oh, and John's going to use this Shielded Edict. Brian won't get to block, so it's very important what was chosen to be exiled. We exiled the Ragavan, and the Ragavan Senior, the Goblin Shaman token, getting on in.
Oof, okay.
And Brian running out of resources.
Ragavan Senior.
They both attack, do 2 damage, and make a treasure. Just the old man doesn't exile cards.
Oh, slams the Shieldred.
Well.
All right, cycle.
I imagine a response to Shieldred. I imagine a response.
Yeah. Draws.
The Ring. We have Ring Tidebander. Those are good cards.
Those are both really good cards.
We needed a card like the Ring to try to get back into this. The issue is John has already played this Shieldred.
Draw.
We're going to lose a lot of life.
You get to see if you want to Tidebind the activation now that you've seen what you draw for turn.
Brian needs a card like a Binding or something to answer.
Is that a land? Is that a land? It's not enough mana to cast Tiebinder and Ring.
No, it is
And
not.
you don't want to cast the Ring in response to a in the face of a
No,
shoulder.
we're gonna lose so much life so quickly in Brian's seat.
He's going. Oh wow.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it was a land.
He's
You were
just
right.
gonna cast it anyway because it gives more protection with the combat damage instead. Yeah.
Brian's using this for the protection. Running out.
This is sketchy. This is sketchy. John seems to be in an advantageous position here. Oh,
Cycling. Wow.
a horizon land. Okay.
Dig a little deeper.
For the ephemerates?
Did we gain our life off our Shieldreds there? We've drawn 2 cards this turn.
Oh. Jonathan. John. Oh no.
How about this Shieldred trigger? Yep, got that one.
There you go.
Okay. The one that's important right now to you is the one that's killing Brian.
I would say that's the more important one to remember, yeah.
John should be at 21 here. But we're plucking in Brian's Ring, dealing even more damage to them.
Yeah, oh gosh, to play the Ring. But yeah, no, I think it does save more life, and I think it's the correct play.
Because Brian can Tiebinder this turn.
Yeah, it's so sketch. Okay, Tiebinder in the draw step here.
This allows us, Brian, to dig a little deeper with their copy of the One Ring. If Brian can shut down this Shieldred. I think John has 1 or 2 cards. I believe one of them was the Molten Collapse I saw forever ago.
Yeah, you mentioned that a while back.
A little while back. We've got to learn that card's a sorcery. Only time will tell.
Remind me of the 2 modes. It's triggered on like Revolt.
Yeah,
right.
It has Descend.
Descend.
And its modes are Terminate or destroy a 1 mana or less non-creature, non-land permanent. But it's at sorcery speed in order to access it. But it looks like John using their fetch land to just get a stock land.
Yeah.
Clean things up. No second target if you're trying to use it against Brian here. Looks like hand is Not Dead, Fable, and that Molten Collapse. An incredible hand.
Trigger on the Shaman.
Yup. And Brian is looking at 2 pitch elementals. Both don't pitch to the other in Subtlety and Solitude.
Right. Gonna block the shoulder there, which means her text box is back online.
Yeah.
Sacrificing 2 of the treasures to cast a Fable, leaving 2 mana open in lands.
And there's the Fable.
Sorry, 4 mana open and 2 on treasures. Another Goblin Shaman hits the field.
Brian
Solitude.
Looks like an upkeep to deal with this Shieldred. I imagine leaving up a blue-green source, not a blue-white.
Big draw here.
This Solitude can kind of help, but it's just going to trade off for one of these Goblin Shamans. And John's going to get to dig with this second copy of Fable. Oh, and if John wants on John's turn, John can Molten Collapse the Solitude and attack for lethal because Brian will die to his own ring.
Molten Collapse, yeah. I was saying you could draw to find cards to pitch to the Subtlety. That doesn't even matter in the face of a Molten Collapse. 1 mana up doesn't get you a counter spell. I think you got to dig now to find the land. Oh,
I think Brian was
I don't know about that, dude.
Brian, I think, is just kind of making the game action of someone who knows they're dead but wants their opponent to figure it out.
Yeah. Oh.
Fable, John, I would discard maybe
like
just that grief.
I feel like you shock the breeding pool, draw for a counter spell. Dig for counter spell.
Then you're dead still.
Life gain.
Oh yeah, you get gain from the
life
solitude.
gain.
You get the gain from the solitude.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Pitch the grief and the. What if I pitch the whole scam package? Because that's not what we're about anymore. Drew a second Shieldred. First, we're gonna collapse this solitude. Writing's on the wall now.
Draw the cards. Draw the cards. Let me see the counter spell. I want to be so validated. Please.
It's a dangerous way to say it, but not wrong. Brian surveilling the board, not the game action. Kind of surveying.
1.
Sure, draw your 2.
Ooh, 2.
Binder land. That ain't it.
Binder land ain't enough. Oof. All right.
Yep, because now John's.
But it's only 4 damage.
Well, we died to the ring.
You died to the ring. Okay.
Died to the ring.
You tied bind your own ring. He's not dead.
Brian needs to draw.
Tie bind the own ring. Shieldred. Oh, dead. You can't do both.
Yeah, now we're down to
But,
Rain and
you can't
Shieldred.
pitch. You have the subtlety, but
yeah,
you
we
can't pitch the Tidebinder because you need it to Tidebind your own
Your
ring,
ring trick.
so you don't die.
But do we have to do to the Shieldred and then hope to draw a Tidebinder?
You could draw another Tidebinder. I think that's what he just checked his graveyard for. Is there? I think we've seen 3. This is the 3rd in his hand.
Or Brian, do you have an Otawara? Can you Otawara your own One Ring?
He's playing 61. There's probably an Otawara.
Oh no,
because
I think One Ring is last known info, so we'd still take 2. That's not going to be it. Oh, the digging. This is the thinking moment. Yeah, all around. Big hms. John, you can see it on John's face.
I mean,
Feeling
John's
good.
at,
Good moment. Feeling good. When your blue-eyed opponent does this,
when they're sitting there scratching their head,
they're either dead or you're dead.
Yeah, no,
There's
it,
no
it,
between.
it can definitely be the other way too. The taps come out.
We've done it. Yep. We cannot let this Shieldred resolve right now. That can become tomorrow's problem.
Tomorrow, next turns.
Yeah, that is for tomorrow. Me
if
and
we
I
get
hate
to
that
a next
guy.
turn. Ooh, draw them
ring,
now.
Big ring.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That's the Brian Tepper way.
Wow!
John taking it down 2 games to 1. Sometimes the top of the deck is not as kind as you are.
Alrighty.
2 games to 1.
John advances to 3-0 on the night. That'll be both of our feature matches for round 3. Before we head out, we'll remind you that we have a Discord. Both the series and the store have Discords. This link will take you to the store Discord. Ask questions, get them answered by any members of our staff or the players. If you're looking for people to play with, trade with, all that good stuff. Also, announcements for pre-orders and special deals. Join the Discord today. We have a new special link. Discord.gg/NRG store is our invite link.
Sick. Awesome.
We got boosted. We got that nitro goodness. Hit us up.
Got that boost?
We'll be right back for round 4. Stay tuned.
See y'all soon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're on our last round of the night. The Flex Slot boys are in the house. Marty versus Adam. Marty playing George's another Flex Slot boys list, and Adam playing the Adam list.
Yeah. So very fun.
With the companion token of Eric. There you go, another homie.
Shout out to NRG Loco Eric on the companion token.
Hero.
The legacy weapon.
Legacy weapon, exactly.
Very fun. Marty, currently in this season of NRG, has yet to lose a game, I believe.
A game?
Oh, you mean a match?
A match.
Marty is currently in first and is now playing it out in the finals.
That is correct.
Against Adam Weiss, who was in that position all of season 1. So
heavy hitters here at the Nerd Rage Gaming store. They're playing for a slabbed Luffy.
What?
Just kidding. I went out there with the slabbed Luffy, and I was like, you know how we like do the shot at the finals of the NRGs with like the trophy?
With the trophy.
What if we just like cut to you guys with like this slabbed Luffy
should,
on the table?
Can we get a league trophy?
We're getting a league trophy. Yeah, it's gonna be a plaque, and it's got like each season's winner on it.
The plaque's
yeah.
so cool. That's so cool. That's so cool.
And then I've got a champion like winner's mat basically getting made for everyone.
Like the NRG MVP has like the plaque that's ongoing with like a. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, in the works already. So there are real physical prizes as well as some abundant dollary dues.
So Marty
Get into the game here, though.
Yeah, a very important prismatic ending on the turn 1 Monster Swift Sphere, and importantly, this control deck is on the play. It's going to help them kind of keep pace for Marty as Adam's going to push and push and push.
I see a One Ring, a Solitude, a Narset. Lots of good tools
so
here.
Adam
I see
doesn't
a Flick
know.
Shot for Adam.
This Slick Shot's kind of clear for takeoff, but he doesn't know that, so he's deciding if he's playing it or plotting it.
Yeah, Marty's tapped out.
He's tapped out, has a Solitude, doesn't have a white card to go with it.
Get in there.
Boop.
Blot.
Oh. It's blotted, it's blotted, it's blotted, it's blotted.
Oh, smart. I'd call you a coward, but I agree with your play.
It's like right in a vacuum, but incorrect in exactly this moment.
Sure,
like,
sure.
This Slick Shot would have been beaten up on Marty, and instead...
Narset, we'll see another
a ring
Narset.
and a Narset? That ain't it, Chief. This is the dig through time for dig through time.
I kind of like keeping the second ring, double fog.
Yeah, double fog.
Double fog, but also double bird encounters. I don't know. I don't know, refresh the bird encounters.
Yeah, a little rinse and refresh. Bolt. So this is a fresh bird off the plot, getting really beefed up here.
Do you not send the bolt at the Narset, or you just ignore the Narset?
I think we're gonna ignore it. We don't draw cards. We light up the stage.
Sure, but Narset finds a kill spell.
This Slick Shot attacks for 7.
That's a lot of damage.
For 7? Do you have another spell, Adam, as well?
1+3 buffs.
All right, attack you for 7. You go to 7.
Yeah.
Bolt you. Just kidding. You go to 11. Take 9. Go to 2. Enjoy being at 2, Marty.
Wow.
Skadoosh.
Wow.
Bingo bango.
Another white card would have been fantastic.
For that Solitude. But we don't have it. We need to find it here.
Oh,
Prismatic Ending.
there's one. There's
Supreme
one.
Verdict.
Oh, there's 2.
The DRC, I know it kind of looks like it's in play. I think it was played
It's
off
from
the light up.
light up the stage. Yes, it's in exile.
Well, I think we tapped a mana at the end there, and the light up's currently actually in the graveyard, not tracking. We may have cast this DRC.
He cast 2 bolts though.
Oh yeah, we played the bolt. We played a bolt.
Yeah.
We played a bolt. We played a bolt. We played a bolt.
Marty's still thinking on this second Narset activation.
Oh, we have a plains in hand, so we can grab the Supreme Verdict, and the DRC doesn't itself have haste, but we don't have any counter magic for any of these burn spells taking us from this 2 life.
Grabs the pending.
This is going to answer the Slick Shot.
Adam on his way to getting rid of it.
Yup, there it
There's
is.
the cast. Play the land for turn.
Preordain.
Looking for more.
It's a prismatic ending and a card I did not recognize.
It's a white card. It's a white card for the Solitude. Whatever it is.
Yeah. Fun fact, everyone. You see Marty sure looks like he's dressed like George. Has the green jacket.
Oh
and
my
everything.
gosh, he does.
This is not George's jacket. Marty also has this jacket.
Oh,
and they
Brickman asked in chat.
They were literally matching when they came in. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That's the cutest thing ever.
Things
I
are
love
happening.
that.
But this one is without patches, so we got to get Marty swagged up.
All right. Adam says, cool. Bolt you?
Yep, that's the thing is Marty had all of this, but none of that was counter spells for the slew of burn spells that were waiting either in Adam's hands or on the top of the deck. And that Slick Shot dealt so much damage.
It dealt a whole 9 damage in a single turn there. That card is bonkers out of OTJ. Slick Shot show off.
I just wish that was Eidolon of the Great Revel.
Okay, all right, okay.
No,
I cede the point.
That's the Marty thought. Like, if that was Eidolon, I'd be like, I think I might have been alive. Instead, that thing attacked for 9?
All right, let's take a look at the George special.
Played by Martin.
Played by Marty. Built by George, in George's outfit, with Kahira the Orphan Guard, Nahiri Parter Veils, March of Other...
Narset.
Did I say Nahiri?
did
Oh my
say
gosh. Narset Parter Veils. March of Otherworldly Lights, Stern Scolding,
Scoldings.
Aether Gust, Days Undoing, Force Negation, Chalice of the Void, Dress Down, and Rest in Peace.
Okay, so this is wild. Chalices we want.
Okay.
We want these Gusts. We want these Stern Scoldings. I want this March of Otherworldly Light.
Chalice a little bit better in this build of Adam's deck. A little bit worse.
Yeah, a little bit better. Like putting a Chalice on 1. The only thing that stops from Marty is all these Preordains, but it stops the bolts, the darts, the DRCs, all that jazz. Because as this
Swifties.
deck's getting better, it's playing less of like the bad 3s and just straight up good 1s. We could look at dress downs, but I want them more for cycling purposes than I
Stern
would.
Scolding seems incredible. Aether Gust just returns it, right?
It can return from the stack or from in play for a red creature. So I think you want almost this whole board. I want Marches, I want Sterns, I want Gusts, I want maybe these Forces, this Chalice, maybe these dress downs.
Is
If
the
you
Aether
told-
Gust good enough?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When their Slick Shot becomes a 9/9, you bounce it.
Okay. All right.
But you can also just like use
They
it
like
to
throw
bounce a
their whole
bolt or-
hand at it. Yeah. Okay.
Same thing. Like you just kind of want to buy time to just like put a Solitude. in play.
It's just blue-white control. No. You see, it's got this fantastic card called Days Undoing in it, so it's actually very different.
Right. What you don't understand is that it's stock in blue-white because George decides what's stock, and by with George I mean Garrick. Yeah, also being pointed out in chat from Brick, shout outs, is that you can also use Dress Down to build your own scam with the Solitudes in your control deck.
Oh, because you don't sacrifice it.
Right, so
anymore.
that might be a way to sneak in
Ooh.
an early life gain threat that could be very difficult for the boy, for Adam. So
All right.
if Marty wanted, you can bring in a lot of this sideboard. I would trust the flex slot link he has and hope for the best.
Yeah, we saw Adam's deck list earlier as well. You can go back in the VOD to check that out. But we're going to get started here with game 2. Adam is up, and Marty started us off with a tap land.
Yeah, I imagine at minimum, Adam probably brings in those rolling vortexes we saw before.
Yeah.
Just to try to keep safe from these solitudes, a big part of Marty's strategy for fighting back. But other than that, I'm looking at a hand of 3 Boros Charms.
Oh my goodness. I was too busy looking, trying to figure out what the breaking news card in Marty's hand is.
I believe Marty has Leyline Binding, the man strapped down to the trains,
Okay.
the railroad tracks.
Dragon's Rage Channeler followed by Dragon's Rage Channeler. Poke for 1 will bring life totals to 19 to 18 after a Sacred Foundry shock.
I think this hand is Bolt, 3 Boros Charms.
Oh my lord.
And these DRCs are just going to
here
go to
for
work.
it.
There's the Gust. Aether
Ooh,
Gust.
the special one. Oh, that's my favorite Aether Gust art. The purple is so pretty.
It's way better than the generic regular M20 printing.
Ew, Corset. Gross.
Ew. Not
Ew.
me going to nerdragegaming.com looking up these Aether Gusts right now.
Ooh. I feel like it's more likely they're on the Pro website, but I haven't listed any.
It's okay. And these Aether Gusts really existing in this deck because it's an incredible tool against Titan, while also being a very serviceable role against these burn/prowess strategies.
Aether Gust was my very first modern sideboard in Merfolk, and that
In
was
the folk?
exactly what I would target it with. Ooh, never mind. I'm full of beans, dude. Look at that.
Dude, you're full of beans? There's one in stock right now at nerdragegaming.com.
Yo, someone go scoop that up before Dom can.
Yeah, race ya.
Dude.
As this Gust finally resolves, Bolt. And now with, oh, that's so cool. We put it on top and surveilled it into the yard.
Whoa, I love that.
Allowing us to be a sniff away from Delirium, missing either artifact or sorcery. But we know this hand is charm, Bolt. And Marty needs to keep up.
Yes, you do.
Surveillant? No, this is a mountain so that we can Bolt and charm.
Sounds right. Which do you do first?
The Bolt, because it's 1 mana, I guess?
Yeah?
Because the what's important is Adam is kind of also going to use this to try to oops into a good surveil, right? To try to turn this DRC into a 3/3.
Right.
Oh, Marty, not too fast, buddy. we got some surveilling to do.
He's played this matchup a few times before.
Yeah. Adam so quickly put this Lava Spike, a sorcery, giving us Delirium for this DRC. Adam also very masterfully going into combat and then in combat playing your spells, getting your surveil on, and really changing the math on Marty.
Leyline Binding will come down here. We'll see if Adam wants to get another surveil. We'll decline there.
Interesting. I wonder if that's because his hand is so good. Getcha.
Oh, we'll just do it now instead?
Because if Marty wants to ever crack a fetch land for the rest of this game, Adam has him dead.
Sure. Wow, that is a rip off the top
DRC.
for sure.
She's
Hot
back.
dang. Lots of good cards. Lots of good rips off the top for burn.
And
Mostly anything that's not a land.
Yeah, and I was just thinking also, we were talking about Adam sideboarding. I wonder if we brought in some number of wear tear, because there's a Leyline Binding as the main removal source. I don't know if it's entirely worth it to spend a removal spell to get back a creature that can maybe attack next turn, if that's better than the Light Up Stages or the bolts and stuff that we do have. But it is an option when you're thinking about it.
Smash to Smithereens only hits artifacts, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know if enchantments have Smithereens to them.
That'd be fun. How about in MH4?
I my brain is lost and rotted enough from 3.
Gosh.
Marty here using a surveil land, Chef's Kiss, getting rid of a land, finding a Stern Scolding.
No, I don't think he plays that card in his deck. Chef's Kiss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, you're right.
That was a good joke.
Here's a Boros Charm. Untap Boros Charm again, but
Pop quiz chat. What's that card do?
it copies a spell and then you flip a coin or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's got Asmo
Fact
in the
check. Fact check. Producer.
art.
Get him.
Gain control of target spell and then copy it, and then the new target can't target permanent control. So you nailed it. No problem.
10 out of 10. Gold star.
Okay, sick.
Winner.
Can I cash on that gold star for
Here comes
credit?
the dress down to remove the text box on Dragon's Rage Chandler and reduce its power and toughness. It also draw Marty a card.
Are you dead?
In response,
This is a Boros charm.
get a surveil. Ooh.
Because
on the top.
Adam, do you have a 1 mana burn spell? And then we take 1 in combat, and if Adam has any of the bolts.
Really tanking on that surveil there.
Hey, shout out last guy in chat talking about Naya Burn. Adam played Naya Burn like 3 weeks ago for a Darkest Command.
Oh, fun.
Adam has a great story. Look him up, Broken Lung on Twitter. Ask him about the palm.
The palm.
Yeah.
That's a broken lung without the E.
Yup. Yeah. Ask Adam about how he won his RCQ. It's a banger.
It's a banger. Qualified on his first event in both seasons. Is that correct?
That sounds right.
Man's cracked.
Marty here with a Solitude, but is it just a little too late? My opponent looks tapped out. It's Bolton time.
All right, Adam. This is where Adam actually plays around an instance that we hadn't considered.
Yeah, but our control opponent tapping low, if you're Adam, like you understand that it's your turn. So the card that you need to be the most worried about is probably a Force of Negation.
Mm-hmm. He has 2 cards in his hand.
And that would take both cards out of Marty's hand. Dart the Solitude. We're gonna dart.
Double dart.
We're gonna double dart. But then wait. Oh yeah. Because the double dart could put Marty to 1.
No.
And instead we're gonna double dart to keep
kill the life
kill
linker.
the Solitude.
Yeah.
Yep. Kill the Solitude.
That's much better.
Oh, and Adam knows his top card, and he's been keeping it from all these surveils.
He's also got a card in hand.
I think
know
it's the third
it's really hidden in that dark part of the playmat.
Adam started with 3 charms. Have we gone through all 3? White breeding pool. Pick up Kahira?
Buy Kahira, okay.
Oh, that's never a good sign.
You'll love to see that as an opponent
Bolt
of a control player.
I did see that Adam drew Bolt. That's not his worry. That's not his concern. He needs to now play on actual factual counterspell from Marty, holding up the 3 mana. You saw him buy the Kahira.
Marty posturing like a great actor right now.
Hey, that's why this man wins games.
Staring at 3 dead cards.
Just send it.
All right.
Marty, fetch shock.
Ooh. Yeah.
Whoa, look at that. And big congrats to the burn prowess boy, Adam Weiss.
Right. Takes down the undefeated of 2 weeks. Yeah. Marty Slawinski falls to 3-1 to Adam's 4-0 on the Knights. Yep. That will possibly shake up the leaderboard just a little bit. We're only a couple of weeks in here. We are doing a full 12 weeks of this, folks. Giving away over $1,000 of prize money. It will depend, of course, on how many people show up. If you want to cut of that money, there's still time for you to participate.
Get in here.
Get in here every Wednesday at 6:30. Only your top 10 results of the 12 weeks count. So if you miss a couple of weeks, that's okay. We're only on week 3. You could still do really well in this league. Top 8 payout. To all the folks involved. We currently have about like 30 or so people in that leaderboard right now. And of course, we're giving out money every week too. There's still a payout if you 4-0 on a night. There are so many fun players to come and hang out with. Here's our full weekly schedule for those unaware. We support OP for 5 different games currently. Also looking to add potentially some more games in the fall when those come out. So keep an eye out on our socials for those. Make sure you join us for Pokemon stream tomorrow night. Before we go, I'll remind you about our next NRG series event as well in St. Louis. That is main event Modern. Excuse me on the graphic there. Saturday will be a 10K showdown for Modern. Sunday is a 5K trial for Pioneer. Lots of ways to queue for the RC there. Showdown winner, of course, gets their own token as well as an immediate qualification to Champs, which is $35,000 prize pool and a qualification to the Pro Tour. So lots of good money and prizes to see there. Lots of insane competition as well. Join us in St. Louis. And then, of course, we also have our schedule for the second half of the year. You can check that out on all of our socials as well. That will wrap up our coverage for tonight, though, folks. It was such a pleasure to have you all here and see you in chat. I know you've already hit that follow button, but if you haven't, make sure to do so. We're live every Wednesday and Thursday with great coverage for you. I wish I was in SAD, not in EU. We wish you were by us too. I appreciate you hanging out with us in chat as well, though. Dom, of course, pleasure as always to have you.
No, thank you for having
in the
me.
booth with me. Thank you, Bryce, for production, and all of you folks at home. Have a good night.
Bye.